fellas. You all right? I've come for fellas. I don't know why I went for fellas, but I went for fellas. No, it's not in my
we are fellas.
Usually. Chaps.
Yeah, chaps.
Gents.
How many more have we had on the podcast who's been currently playing?
I know, I was going to say exactly the same, John. We've not had one for a long while, especially at such a high level.
Have we not? Who was the last? Kieran?
Yeah, probably. Might be.
I don't think that many players whose name fits so well into a chant. I think there's quite a few you could go.
Harlee Dean, Harlee Dean, Harlee Dean. Or if you're a away fan, has anybody seen Harlee fucking Dean? Anybody seen Harlee fucking Dean?
Good that.
Yeah, that just come to me.
What about?
That's it. Pass me a pen and paper.
I tell you what, I'm glad it's just come to you. You've not been thinking about it for a week.
Fuck as it is with last week. Fucking get me there. It's pen and paper.
Wait till that intro. Next week, Katie, I've got a cracking song for him.
What about two first names?
Yeah.
Anybody else? Nigel Martin, Matty, 1-0.
Well done.
Need a bit of warning on these.
I know. I like to throw these things on you.
Peter Grant.
Yes. Come on, Chris.
I haven't got one.
Tom Pope. What we call him now, isn't it? The Pope.
Pope John Paul. But yeah,
not been on.
Carl Hawley out on Patreon this week.
Great lad, Halls, isn't it? Mm-hmm. Great lad. I actually didn't realise how up and down and his career actually really were. You know, when he left Preston and that.
I know.
Yeah.
And how much bad luck he had, really.
Once again, a massive thanks to O'Neills Sportswear for sponsoring the series. The link's in the description to get your Undr The Cosh kit. And thanks to Biting, we're starting again once, letting us record our intro here. Two weeks on the trot. You're still thinking. Go on, you've got one more in you, John. No.
You've got another one?
No, I've got name and job. Billy Painter. It's best I can do.
Right, let's get him in. Get him in, for fuck's sake.
We've only heard one side of the tale from what we've been told the greatest game in the history of football.
We've heard it many, many times. Right?
Yeah.
But you were on the field that day, Brentford.
Yep.
Donny.
2013. Taking me way back. I think I had a bit of involvement in getting the penalty as well. I think I was up there and headed it down. I think Toombs then done something and whatever, and the penalty happened. And I remember watching it back, I'm jumping on the edge of the area, up and down like a little girl. And then what happened. It was fucking crazy, couple of minutes that, I think, because obviously I listened to one before and you said it, that Kev O'Connor was the penalty taker and he was meant to take it. And
is that right?
Well, he was the penalty taker, but he just didn't want to do it. He didn't want it. It weren't they'd had a row. And Trots was give me it. I think he just didn't want it.
Shitbag.
Really?
Oh, that's sorry.
Yeah. I mean, Kev was a great geezer and obviously a Brentford legend. He's doing, I think he's still there now in the first team, whatever. But it weren't a case of Trots saying I want this. I think it was Kev didn't want it. And then he hits the bar. I think we all just fall on the floor, don't we?
Yeah.
And you just go down the other end because we know it don't matter at that point.
Because we only needed a point. I must have said that in the 10 times that I've
and then you go and score and we're just there. And I just remember it was the worst moment. I remember being in the change room afterwards with Uwe Ros and I couldn't get changed or nothing like that. And I think I was crying and he was crying and we was cuddling each other. It was a bit weird. Then we have to go and do the semi-finals against Swindon. And then we have a penalty in the next game. I don't know if you even noticed, the first leg against Swindon to get back to 1-0 and Kev steps up and takes it and scores. And obviously got to Wembley and then lost the Oval. But
we've all had bad results and relegated once and you got relegated
twice.
It's a bad dressing room after that, but that must have been even worse, I imagine.
Well, the something I forgot was that we had the end of season like awards do the night after, or it might have even been that night. I can't remember. So we've all like we're all down in like can't believe what's happened, thinking like that was our chance and this, that, and the other. And then we had to go and do this awards do. Well, I think that was the best thing that ever happened to us because we all just got absolutely wankered. And we had a great dressing room at that point, like in terms of few older lads. Most of the lads were around the same age, and we was all like together. So we just brushed it off, and then we went to the semi-finals, and got that job done, and then went to the final. The final wasn't as bad as losing. Like we lost in the final, it wasn't as bad as losing to that last game against Doncaster.
There is a picture from behind the goal where cops put it in, and there's just bodies in our. Just
like
all
a wall painting.
Yeah, he's tapping it in, and there's just 10 bodies in our penalty area behind.
Because weren't the geezer who went through, weren't he like talking to the manager or something?
Billy was on the touchline, yeah.
And then he just like comes in and just does it and they score.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was just a mad week. Like that end of the season was great. But I'll tell you what, it was the best thing that ever happened to all of us, and we all said it. Because our promotion bonus for going up that year was, I think it was 150 grand between the squad. We lost against Yeovil in the final. Matthew Benham come into the change room straight afterwards and went, we weren't expected to go up this year. We're going to do it next year. We're going to invest, blah, 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 blah. And then the promotion bonus was like life-changing for the next season. And everyone who was pro rata earned like a good amount of money for going up from League One.
Did them a right favour, didn't you?
Yeah. Like, but we all say that. Like people's first houses were bought off of stuff like that. We was all young kids, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Opportunity now to say thanks.
I think I need to say sorry to Trotter. I think I've given Trotter a bit of shit, saying he's come in and to give us
the ball off.
Yeah, no, I think it's a fact that weren't the case because Trots weren't like that anyway.
Was he not?
Nah, he was quite a quiet, like good player, but he was quite a quiet lad. Like he wouldn't have done that, especially not at that point. I think he just had the balls to go, oh, go on, I'll have it. Then. Do you know what I mean?
Okay.
See, I'd still be every now and again sending the penalty taker.
Kev O'Connor.
I'd still be sending Kev like the shit emoji and an handbag next to it.
Well, it all worked out well in the end,
every
though,
now and
didn't
again, just send him a shit emoji and an handbag, shit bag.
He, I think it proper affected Trotso. Because I think for like the next year, he was from Fulham, wasn't he?
So
that was like a big rivalry anyway. And I think he just sort of like affected him badly.
Has he gone on to have a career? Because he kind of fell off the face of the earth,
thing, I don't know. Like, I could tell you where we had some players come through at Brentford that all played there. Like I'll tell you where most of them are, but Trots, I have no idea.
But we signed Harry Forrester. We obviously beat them, and then signed Harry Forrester. Basically, just obviously we got in the Championship. And for Harry's first day, you could tell he was lively. Was he like that at Brentford?
Yeah. Harry was
good lad.
Yeah, good lad. Just I don't know. You could tell he had like, I think he was a bit insecure. Like one of them would like add a face to it, but weren't really being himself. Like I remember we went out. Like we had an unbelievable dressing room. Like Sam Saunders, Jonathan Douglas, Adam Forshaw, Harry, Clayton Donaldson, Tamani Diagoraga, like all of us, Jake Bidwell, we'd all be out Saturday, Tuesday because we'd be winning and we just never knew nothing different. We was all young, living on our own in London and stuff. And when we went out one Sunday to Nubar, and I remember being on the way back and Harry'd had a drink and probably too many. And I'm sitting in the middle, he's sitting on my left, Saunders is sitting on my right. I think Bidders might have been driving and Forshaw was in the front. And Harry's getting chirpy. I think there's a bit of a rag going on, whatever. I'm like, just calm yourself down. I'm sitting there and I just felt right in the back of my head. And I was like, no, that ain't just happened. So I turned around and I was like, has he just done that? I'm thinking.
So he's goffed?
Yeah, spat on me from there on. And I was just like, so I've just sort of held him. I went, wait till we get back home. Like, I think we'd had a drink. We was in the car. Didn't want nothing happening. So we get back into Sam and Harry's apartment and I'm like, come on, me and you outside. And to be fair to him, he was like, yeah, like, let's go. It was fucking January, pissing down, freezing. And I weren't going to fight him because I just wouldn't have wasted my time or whatever. But so I was like, come on, let's go outside and I've got to sort this out. So he's like, no. I was like, we're going outside. So as we go out, open the patio door, he steps out, I just shut the door and lock it and we go there for the night.
Superb. Left him out in the rear.
Yeah, it's just easy to calm down.
Fair play to Harry though for stepping out.
Yeah, well, I think that's what be a bit of bravery, isn't it?
You've done him a massive favour there.
Is that a
man.
balcony or is he outside?
He hasn't pushed him off the
outside,
balcony.
Yeah, no.
No, I mean, is he stuck on the balcony or
That'd be
is
a bit
he
strong, wouldn't it?
Can he walk home?
No, it was like it was a ground floor balcony, so
Right.
but it was all fobbed. So if you did jump over, you couldn't get out where you were going because you needed the keys to get through the
Right,
gates
yeah.
and stuff.
Pushed him off a balcony.
Yeah.
And he cracked on Saunders. He always looked like good
So,
lad.
well, I was with him at Dagenham and Redbridge, like when I first ever started at 16, and when I look back now for where Dagenham and Redbridge were, like conference, I think they just got to League Two. He was so big time. Oh mate, he's like one of my best friends now. But he was a typical. He was a conference Beckham, like blonde highlights, Preds. Do you know what I mean?
He had his swim shorts then.
Yeah, Thomas Royal, yeah. That dressing room at Dagenham Redbridge was a non-league men's team. John Still was a manager. I was like the 16-year-old. They used to call me meathead, just a skinhead, spots all over me, skinny. And they just used to bat me. But I used to have to do anything. So like, it'd be like, go and clean the showers. And I'd go in there and subs or Saunders just had a shit on the floor. And I've just got to pick it up, put it in the thing. Like just things like that, old school.
Pick it up.
Yeah, pick that up. Or clean your boots and someone's just done a log in it. And I'm like, fucking hell. But I just did it because I was like, fucking hell, I've got a chance
Keen,
here.
like.
Yeah, keen, yeah. Just being a good lad.
The more shit, the better.
Yeah,
There's a couple in there.
Don't worry, I'll get it.
And we used to do this. But Sam would give it massive, like, he wouldn't let us eat in the canteen before he'd eat and stuff like this. John Still used to do this thing. You'd have to do like a silent vote. And then on a Friday, he'd come in and read all the votes out. So there must have been 4 or 5 of us young lads, but the other young lads were about 3 or 4 years older from South London. Like, they were fucking naughty people. Do you know what I mean? Like, we was all on 100 quid a week, 150 quid a week. They was doing whatever else to earn money, but Sam used to give it to all of the young lads. But we've got our little gang. Do you know what I mean? So the votes come out and it's like, Saunds, you ever talk to us like that again? Your little shit course is getting tips upside down and burnt alight. And his face just drops in there. Like, he's sitting there thinking, who the fuck's talking that? And then all the lads are just like staring at him like this, like letting him know it's him. And then they just kept going. And he settled down after that.
You're the first player, I think, that we've had of your age, now still playing, that we're hearing about shits in showers and boots and stuff.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I think you're going to struggle in 5 or 10 years to get ex-players on, because I just don't think none of that happens no more.
Yeah.
That's what we were talking about before. But I've got George Saville, shits, mate. Kev O'Connor again. I mean, our Brentford dressing room was unbelievable. Like, there was just things happening all the time. And Sav, if you've never played against him, never been in a dressing room with him, is the best person to be in. You could have in a dressing room. Like, he's just a creature. He'll do anything. He just loves having a laugh. Like, he used to do this thing, the piss bomb. So he'd grab his foreskin while he's in the shower and piss, and it'd fill up like a water balloon, and then he'd just go, and it'd just all like go over his face.
In his own face?
Yeah, he'd do it for like, or he wouldn't mind if someone did it to him or whatever. Like, just
all this.
yeah, just hilarious. And
So would you just like give him a command, like, go on, do it?
yeah, or
For
if
the
there was someone in, it weren't like you'd tell him to do it. It'd be like if someone in there didn't like that sort of stuff, he fed off that, so he'd do it just to see their reaction. Or he'd come in and go, "Have you had what do you used to call it? Have you had the tumble dryer today?" And I'd go, "No," and I know Clayton would be in there, Clayton Donaldson, and he'd go, "Clayton, you want one?" And he'll have me old boy between his hands washing it with soap, because that's the tumble dryer. And Clayton's just like, "What are you used to doing?"
That's right up your street as well.
Yeah.
And the more awkward it make people feel, the better.
Yeah, that's it. That's exactly what it is.
We're in a tumble dryer today.
And Kev O'Connor was like the club captain and didn't really like he was proper prim and proper. But if Sav did a shit that he was like happy with, he'd dig it out the toilet and come in and show the lads. As he's walked round the corner, like the door used to be there and the toilets were there. So as he'd come around the corner holding it, Kev's walked in and Sav's standing there like with shit in his hand like this, and Kev's just gone, dropped his face like, just like, for fuck's sake, George, and just left and walked out. And Sav's like, oh no, and then he would get fined for it and stuff.
Because you can't even hide it in your pocket. Can you?
The amount of times, like, say if we're all in the shower and he's having a conversation with somebody really sensible, I'd look down and he's just pissing on him, like,
Yeah.
and the lad that's having the conversation doesn't know, he's like washing his face and he's just having a slash up his leg. You know that kind of...
But it's unbelievable, isn't it? Like, that stuff now just don't happen, does it?
And you always piss on the ones who are going to be bothered.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The ones who are not bothered are like, no, sound. Can we getting Lonners in the corner, getting Cowan in the corner? Come on, let's have a feel of that, Lonners. And he's like, leave me alone, leave me alone. Probably, fucking I could get locked up for it now, really, couldn't I?
Going back to them votes, I used to take that more serious than... I used to get nervous about it. You know, on a Friday, you'd have the secret vote where they go around and you have to wear
bib and all that.
The yellow bib. And I used to go under, even when I was like 29, 30.
Still terrified.
I don't know why. Looking back, I'm thinking, it's just a bit of crack, isn't it?
Yeah,
but
but
I used to be proper...
I tried to introduce it when I signed for Reading last season, and I'd never seen it like that. I just seen it as a bit of banter. If someone batters you, they batter you. Like, it's what it is. You got to wear the bib. You wear the bib.
And it wasn't never allowed to be washed, so it was always filthy. People were
Stinking.
Stinking. But it was a bit of crack.
But it just, in the end, we had to stop it because lads were just, you could tell they were gutted off it. Like, they'd have to walk into the team meeting with it. And then it just got a bit stupid. Like, I think Sam Hutchinson got it one time, and then all the lads wanted to vote for him again. So it was like, all right, you can't vote for some person who got it the week before or whatever. We got Charlie Savage there, who would just get like 5 votes just because his dad's who his dad is. So it'd be like, Sav, your dad's a prick, and that would be his vote. and he would hate that. And but then 5 votes were from one person who was just putting 5 votes in for a bit of banter. But lads would just go underneath, and we had to knock it on the head.
Even to the point, as the game's going on, obviously, you don't want it, so you'll do anything possible to give it to somebody else. If you give the ball away, it's
Firing it in at someone.
They just say, oh, and then you think, oh, fuck me, and then
That's 5 votes.
I got to the point where they weren't even worth giving it me. Like, no point, because he's not bothered. Like, that's the 3rd week in a row. No point. So they just don't even vote for us. But,
Were you 16 when you went in?
Yeah, so...
Did you get picked up later on?
Yeah, I didn't do any academies. I did non-league route. I worked in Top Meadow Golf Club doing like silver service behind the bar. Went to Dagenham Redbridge, and I did a load of non-league loans, Redbridge, Thurrock, Braintree. I think I finished at Grays in the Conference Prem. Julian Dix was the manager. Kenny Brown was the assistant. I've got a funny story, actually. You've just reminded me. So there was a fella called Andy Swallow who owned Grays at the time. Andy Swallow from my area was... Would you know what the ICF is? The intercity firm, West Ham Hooligans. Right, yeah. So he was like one of them. Great geezer, and they've done me a treat. So we used to train at a place in Debden, and I'd just passed my driving test. Oh, no, sorry, I was just doing my driving lessons. So to get to training, I'd managed to do a driving lesson in the morning to take me into training. So I'd finish there. So Andy, Julian, and they're all upstairs. They're like, come up, we've just seen you, blah, blah, blah. He's like, oh, you doing your driving lessons? He was like, yeah, all this. He's like, go and get some breakfast from down the road. I was like, I ain't got a car. He's like, take mine. So he's giving me his Range Rover key. So I'm buzzing, like, I'm going to drive Range Rover. Like, I shouldn't be allowed. He went, take this money and all. He went, go to that little baker's, get us some bacon rolls and, I don't know, ice fingers or whatever. So anyway, driving down there, on the phone to all my pals while I'm doing it, fucking driving the Range Rover, giving it Johnny Wong, and pull in and go and get the stuff, this, that and the other. Go into the little old lady, can I have 3 bacon sandwiches, a couple of coffees, this, that and the other, get it all. Come back and go upstairs and give them the stuff and go to get the change out. They went, oh, it worked then? I went, what do you mean it worked? He went, well, the note. I went, what do you mean? He went, well, we just printed them off of this printer. They were doing the old money thing, and I was like, "Fuck you!" I was the guinea pig who's just gone down the shop and got it. And I went, oh, "I've got the change." He went, "No, you can keep that." I went, "Fuck you!"
Little old dears in bacon butty shop.
Yeah,
Bastards.
And then like getting arrested, tackling.
Yeah. But back then, it looked unbelievable.
And the Ford notes.
He used to like dish a couple out, so you'd like mix them in. I was a kid on fuck all, so you're gonna do it. And I remember doing one at a petrol station. Fucking geezers only got me, and then stuck it up behind the thing, and he was like, "That's fraudulent money," you know. Like he's put it on his little window. I was like, "Mate, I had no idea." Like, luckily, I had some real ones as well. I said I've been given this as change. But you try and do it, but you couldn't do that nowadays, could you?
Driving without insurance,
counterfeit
notes.
No insurance, no tax, no test.
Not even a license. Yeah, unbelievable. But so then from Grays, I think I played about 20 games in the Conference Prem at 17, so was half right. And they'd given me the captaincy, which was...
At 17?
Yeah. Well, Paolo Venazza, would you know him? He played for Arsenal. He was there, and they took it off him and give it to me. So I was like, what's that about? But at the time, as a kid, you don't realise the ramifications of that, like what the dressing room's thinking and whatever. But you just take it and
The dressing room.
The dressing room was good. Like, it was just like a load of men. Like,
And were you not fair? Were you vocal in getting the captaincy? You must have.
I weren't asked about being the captain. I think Julian just liked me, and I was a West Ham fan. He played for West Ham.
Yeah.
Kenny Brown's a West Ham legend. I was just sort of, I just wanted to make it as
You
a
must
player.
have seen something in you.
Yeah, I just went, like, I hadn't made it. I'd never been anywhere, so I just knew that this was my chance. I'm playing in the conference, like I can go and do something here. So I think we lost fucking 20 games out of 25 or something like that. But I was playing centre midfield and I was just getting involved and getting stuck in, which I think in a relegation battle is sort of all you can ask for, ain't it? And then, from then I went back into Dagenham and Redbridge, sat down with John Steele and...
Had they been promoted while you were away?
Yeah, they'd gone to...
League One.
League One. They'd gone to League One and he said... he never liked me in the first place anyway, to be honest. I wasn't his player. He hadn't brought me in and...
Lower league legend, isn't he, John Still?
Yeah.
Managerial-wise and all that.
Just hated me because I was a centre midfielder who thought I could play. I will never forget. I'm in and around it. I think I just made my debut against Port Vale for like the last 10 minutes. Probably I come on and should have scored, to be honest. And then I'm thinking, I've got a chance here. Like I can get back in, like maybe get a bit more or get a start or whatever. And we're in training and ball goes to the fullback. And I've gone to show like inside as a centre midfielder. And the centre midfielder who was starting to come in, I've dropped the shoulder on him, turned, and it had diag the other side. And all I've heard is, no. Stop. And I'm like, what? And he was like, off. He was like, Subs, show him what to do. So the ball comes to him, and as it's rolling, he just fucking wallops it in the channel. And he was like, I told you you're not ready. And I was just sitting there like, fucking hell. Like, you've gone
good
from...
ball and all. We're at good ball.
Oh, it was unbelievable. I've just chopped the geezer, gone that way, with my other foot the other side of the pitch. But all he wanted was hit the channels, crosses, and then that was his start. I just went,
I like that.
No. Yeah, that was exactly how he did it. And I just remember sitting there like a dog, like sitting on the sideline thinking, fuck me, I was up here, I've just made my league debut at 17 or whatever I was. And now I'm not going to be nowhere near it again.
That's a brave call from him though. Like if you've gone on loan, regardless of what level, and you made captain at 17, for then to come back and still not having you and not giving you a good run.
That was in between that. So when I come back, it was the end of the season, and he sat me down in his thing, and he went, I don't know what you're on, but we'll double it and give you another 2 years. And I was like, Gaffer, I'm on £100 a week. Like I'm going to be turning 18. Like I've just played in the conference. I knew what them lads were getting, like for playing first team football in the conference. I was thinking, I didn't want stupid money, but I just wanted something I could pay my car insurance with, and I didn't have to paint and decorate for my dad on the Saturday morning. And that was it. He just was so blunt with it, and I just walked out of there, and I think he said since when I've seen him was that I was one of the first young ones to just do it. I said, no, I'm not going to sign here. Thanks for everything. He always said I'd be a centre half, to be fair, at that time, and I was like, fucking no chance, mate. I'm a player.
Oh, that's a fucking thing.
No.
And he was right. I eventually did become a centre half, but I think a couple of weeks after that, Les Reed rang me, head of recruitment at Southampton. So he called me and said, we want to get you down here.
Some bollocks that, by the way. At sort of 18, 19, say, nah, fuck you, I'm not.
But I just physically couldn't do it. Like I couldn't look after myself. Mum and Dad didn't have no money to help me out. So £200 a week, like my car insurance was fucking, I think it was £200 a month or whatever. So after you tax and stuff like that, like I had fuck all. Yeah. All my mates think I'm a footballer. We're going sugar out on a Saturday, giving it massive, and I'm thinking, fucking, I've got £25 left after this. Do you know what I mean?
So at that point, did you not have any options or anything lined up? So you've turned that down. And
I just thought worst comes to worst, I can go back to Grays.
Yeah.
And play there. Most of my time had been in non-league anyway. Like I'd enjoyed it. Men's football. Like I think it was good for me. And Les said, come down, we want to... so come down and train, we want to see how you do. And went down, there was like me and this other fella, Scott, I can't think of his name now, and it was between us who was going to sign. And then I remember it being like a 4-week wait afterwards while they were deciding. And eventually Les called me and said, we're going to sign you. And I said, all right, brilliant. I was over the moon, buzzing, this, that and the other. And I seen him at the PFA Awards. I went with Shay Adams when he got, I don't know, probably 3 years ago, a bit longer. And he went, do you know why I signed you over the other fella? And I went, no idea. He went, he was a better player than you. He went, but he never called me. He said, you called me every fucking day. And that was the only reason. He just said you wanted it more. And then
So basically, you fucking annoyed him into getting you a deal.
Yeah. But you take it. Yeah.
I don't have to sign this cunt. It's on fucking phone every day. just give him a 2 year.
Yeah. But that's from my dad. My dad, he just said, keep breaking his head. True. He said, you got to find out. He said, just keep ringing him. And if it weren't for my dad saying that, I wouldn't have. I'd have just been like, we'll wait and see what happens.
So was this a straight 2 year pro contract, or was it like
So I signed 2 years. Making me 500 quid a week. Thought I'd cracked it. Got my own 2-bed apartment around the corner from the training ground, and then realised that I was skint again because I knew nothing about council tax, direct debits, Sky, rent. Come to the end of it, and I'm like, fucking hell, I'm worse off than I was.
Can I take that 200 still?
Come print us a few more of them notes off.
Obviously, I was living at home, weren't I? So I didn't have to pay for nothing. Then when you move out, it's like, welcome to the big bad world. You've got to cook and feed yourself. But
it must have been like, because Southampton training ground's class, innit? Must have been like, fucking hell, what is this?
Yeah, absolutely incredible. Dagenham Redbridge was a non-league team. We used to pull up and then walk across the road down the train station to May and Baker, which is like a public park, and then train. The funny enough, I signed and I met Alan Pardew, and they won 4-0 on the Saturday. I was due to come in on the Monday. On the Monday, he'd been sacked. So then Nigel not that saying that he was the one that signed me and that I was going to play for him or anything like that, but it was just a bit volatile. And then they brought Nigel Adkins and Crosser in.
Was Southampton struggling then? Or?
No, flying. I think they got, when I signed there, they was in League One. They went League One champ, like double back-to-backs.
I'm all over the place with eras. Was it like when Oxlade-Chamberlain was just coming through? And
wow, the team was Danny Butterfield right back, Radi Jahidi, Fonte, Hardin, Fox left backs. Then you had Schneiderlin, Lallana, Dean Hammond, Lambo, Chambo on the wing. Who else did we have? Gully de Prado. Oh, mate, the team was...
Chappie was there, I think.
Yeah, Chappie was there, yeah.
It's a good League One team, man.
Mate, it was like, that was a completely different experience. Like, I'd been with Dagenham, been with men, but I remember signing at Southampton, travelling away, like one of the first games you have to sing, didn't you? Fucking just melted. Like, Kelvin Davies just standing over me saying something, and I was like, trying to sing, I think I tried to sing Michael Bublé or something like that, and I was like, just stick to something you know, and I think I forgot the words, and you could tell no one was having it, and then someone was trying to help me, and yeah, awful, but I mean, what a team.
So you were straight in with the squad then when you signed?
Yeah, so straight in with the squad. Like, I was floating between the first team and the development squad, because I weren't playing, I'd have to do extras with them, like the gym and stuff like this, but I'd be training with the first team, and then training with the development squad as well, but even the development squad, we had Callum Chambers, James Ward-Prowse, who else? Luke Shaw. Like, it was, at the time, you never realised that these lads were going to be what they were going to be.
How long was it before they shifted you to centre half? Was it Southampton or was it after?
No, so it was, the coach, Martin Hunter, I weren't technically good enough to be at Southampton. Like, I'd never had any coaching, so I was going there and the level, I just couldn't believe how far off it I was. But the one thing I could do was run. I was physical and I wanted it, do you know what I mean? So they just worked on it technically with me. So I think the fact that I was already technically behind in terms of being a centre midfielder made it easy for me to go to the back. And then you don't have to know as much there, like receiving the ball with your back to play and stuff like that.
Did you feel more comfortable when you dropped back, like, at that time?
At Southampton I did, yeah. It made it a lot easier for me. I mean, there was times that I was playing in games like for the reserves or whatever it was at the time, thinking, fucking, I'm miles off here. I'd go, like, instead of getting that ball from the fullback and wanting to turn out, I was just fucking hitting it in the channel. Still, yeah, it was like a ticking time bomb. I was just thinking, get this fucking thing away from me.
He got a point, that John, still.
Yeah,
just fucking kick it as far as you can. You can't score from there.
But yeah, no, if it weren't for Southampton, I wouldn't have made it as a footballer, because I think I did learn technical stuff. But like, I was just having this conversation with little boys at the academy at Blues now, and if I was coming through now, I'd never be a footballer.
Snap. I don't think I would.
The kids are just doing things. It's just so technical. Even you watch the games now, it's like chess, isn't it? No tackles anymore, no fights, no headers. It's just gone a completely different way, and I think I was lucky that I got in at that time, because anything afterwards I would have been done.
So are you at this point thinking, I'm enjoying this, I probably made myself a better player, but I'm going to have to drop down to come back again?
Yeah, I mean, I knew that I needed to get on loan because the club were just going up and up and up. I think they were pissing League One at the time. And I just wanted to get out and play football. I think that was the main aim between me and my agent at the time. I remember playing for the development team or reserves or whatever they're called, and Mark Warburton was the sporting director of Brentford at the time, and he said, we'll take him. I went to Brentford, and Uwe Rosler was the manager, and I think made my debut for them against Rochdale away. I think I was come on at right mid or something like that, and then the rest is history, and I was there for the next 6 years.
Is that in league? I can't remember what league Brentford were in.
They were in League One at the time as well, yeah. I signed for them on loan. Southampton were already in the Championship. Done that loan, and then I'd done really well in the loan, and the contract was done at Southampton, so I was a free agent, and I had like loads of offers coming in from, I think, Stevenage, Brentford. I went up to Preston when Wesley was a manager. That was a fucking experience.
Dodged a bullet there.
Mate, I was we sat in his office.
Oh.
I sat in his office, and I'm sitting here, and there's my agent there and my other agent there. But he's put the chairs like 5 yards apart from each other, and he's showed me this flip chart. This is what we do. I'd already been on the phone to him before this or whatever. So we do gym here, supplements, gym, training, supplements, blah, 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 blah. He went, "Are you all right with that?" I went, yeah. He went, "Lift your top up." I went, "What?" He went, "Stand up and take your top up. Take your top off." So I was like, all right. So I took it off, and he went, "We'll sort that out, mate, don't worry." I was like, fucking looking at my agent like that. He's like, "They call me Mr. Medal." And I was like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" He's Bentley outside, and I think he had a funny number plate or whatever, but walked out of there. Then straight from there, Rizdale takes me into a room.
So is he implying that you're a bit heavy?
I was a bit heavy. Like I was a big lad, and I've always been that way. I've always carried weight. And then they tried to get me signed there and then. Like I'd met the manager. Rizdale pulled me into another room, had this contract offer in front of me, and I was thinking, I didn't even discuss this with my agents or nothing. And
had you made your mind up that
I'd wanted to go back to Brentford straight from the beginning, just because I'd done so well on the loan there, and I enjoyed it so much. But to be fair, Preston offered like a lot more money than Brentford did at the time. But he just put me off. When he showed me this thing, it was just like set pieces for like 3 o'clock in the afternoon or something like that for an hour, and then you come in and you do him. I'm sure he said like 100 ups. I don't know what that means, but it was just like a circuit of just press ups and sit ups and stuff, and you're leaving at 5. And I'm thinking, fucking hell.
So when he said, "Are you all right with that?" and you went, "Yeah," you pretty much shit your pants, didn't you?
Yeah, the thing is, I was a young kid, so at the time, all I wanted to do was play football. I would have been all right with it, but it was just the way that he was coming across in the meeting and making me take my top off and that, and I was just like,
We'll sort that out.
Yeah, we'll sort that out.
Bless him, we'll sort that out.
Yeah, well, it just weren't for me.
Having a pinch.
So did Southampton just not, were they saying we're just leaving for free?
Yeah, so my contract ran up. The first season there, we done quite well at Brentford. I think we finished 8th or 9th or something like that. And so I signed there permanently. And another big point was that Adam Forshaw, Jake Bidwell, had both signed on loan from Everton as well. And we all lived in the hotel together while we was on loan. And like we're best friends now still to this day, all three of us. And they then both signed permanently as well. So like we had that straight away, that connection, that dressing room, and the dressing room was unbelievable.
How was Rosler?
Yeah, like for me at that time was exactly what I needed. I think like German, strict, but it just worked for us. And Rosler was spot on, just aggressive, direct. Would put me. He used to call me Beckenbauer, like, but fucking hammer me. Who the fuck do you think you are, Beckenbauer? That's all I remember. And I would never forget Stevenage away and Steve
accent, man.
Harlee. He used to call me Harlee, and he'd just scream on at me. And do you remember? What's his name? Is it Martin Taylor? No, who's the centre half that done Eduardo's leg?
6'7".
Yeah,
Martin.
Mark Taylor. Martin Taylor. So his nickname was Tiny, weren't it? Mm-hmm. So he comes on loan, Steve, and we're playing Stevenage away, and he pulled his calf early doors and comes off. Anyway, we get to the end of the game, we've lost 2-1 or something, and Rosler's in there going fucking mental afterwards. There's a big round table like this in the middle, and I'm sitting on a chair like this against the wall because it's such a tiny dressing room, and there's just like a few pegs and whatever. I'm sitting next to Dougie, Jonathan Douglas, and he's going off on one, and he goes, "Fucking you, Beckenbauer. how many fucking times? And I'm like, I've lost my head. I was like, stood up, I was like, who the fuck are you talking to? And he's like, and he's gone mental at me, and he's picked up this Actimel, and he's fucking launched it at me, right? But he's missed me, and I'm sitting here, and like the archway to the shower is there, and it has hit the wall, and Tiny's standing there, 6'7", like crouched over in the thing. It's just shots all up him, like, and he's just got yogurt dripping down his eyes, right? So I'm standing up, Dougie's pulled me down, but as I've stood up, my chair's broke, so the front 2 legs are fine and the back 2 legs are fucked. So I'm like in this, like that crouching position where you're leaning against the wall. Like, he's gone on for 20 minutes. Rosler going mental at everyone, screaming. Tiny's still standing there. He's not even wiped it. He's just got fucking yogurt coming down his face.
Nicest man in the world as well.
Yeah, he wouldn't say nothing. And after that, he obviously told the sporting director, who was Wolves, they wanted to fire me. He wanted to fine himself for losing his rag, and it was just one of them. Like, we both just lost. But again, I was 21, might have been 20 at the time or whatever.
They wanted to fine you?
They wanted to fine me.
Fire you?
No, fine me for, like, the manager wanted to fine me for my response, and the manager wanted to fine himself for the way he acted in terms of launching a yogurt at me.
Bit petty,
Yogurt.
Yeah.
Taylor, like, fucking fine him.
But it's legendary, that story now. So Bidders went back with Coventry, I think, last year, and he was like, I'm in that dressing room, the Actimel dressing room. Everyone talks about it. And no, he was. Do you know what? He was so good for us all as young lads. He was caring off the pitch.
I was going to say, did that flip? Was he good with you as well, like with praise?
Oh yeah, well? But he was never not good with me. That was just a byproduct of an argument and a loss and stuff like that. And my personality at the time, like, I would go back at people, like, regardless of. You shouldn't have. I think it's wrong to do what I did, but at the time you don't know that, do you?
Yeah.
Yeah. I want to find myself.
Yeah,
just do it then. You know what I mean? It's not hard, is it? Just write yourself a letter. Dear Uwe, you've been fined 20%. Sound. Put it in your other hand. Dear Uwe, fuck me, I've been fined 20%. You fucking bastard. What? You could have an argument with yourself. Tell you what we'll do. We'll just have a minute to thank O'Neills Sportswear.
A quick pause in play.
What are they all about, Chris?
For these. The quality, we've got Big Mick McCarthy's shirt here, but get your own. One of these, or for your 5-a-side team, 11-a-side teams.
Bespoke kit, so you can design your own, can't you?
Yeah. There is a minimum order of 12.
Yeah, maximum, you can just go as many as you want.
In array of sizes.
Up to 7XL, if you've got a big dog.
There is, I think there's 4 to 6 weeks from design to delivery, which I think is a quick turnaround considering.
A very quick turnaround.
But yeah, thank you to O'Neills Sportswear for
sponsoring
this
the series,
providing us with unbelievable kits and giving people the chance to buy their own.
Yeah, so thank you very much. As I said, the link's in the description, I believe, as always. So,
what's your favourite colour?
I like the green and white one.
This one for me. I'm going to get Big Mick up again. 6-6 draw against Dagenham.
Oh yeah, that was the first time I went back there. Yeah, that was like in a League Cup thing.
You scored as well. Did you
score the last minute equaliser or something? Yeah.
Can't be one of your better games at centre half though.
No, God no. I think we'd gone up to the champ at that point, had we? And Wolves was the manager, and yeah, I'm sure we'd gone up, and I hadn't started the season, so you get that Joey game like 3 or 4 games in to play the League Cup game. And I was thinking, well, I've got to do well here and whatever, and fucking conceded 6. At Dagenham as well, but...
How was he, Warburton? Was he like...
No, he was class,
He always looked
he was
different.
So... We've had some unbelievable managers at Brentford. The club, unbelievable in terms of the way they did it. They were pioneers, like they were years ahead of everyone. Set piece coaches... throwing coaches, like the 1%, the marginal gains. They were doing that 5 years before anyone's even talking about it now. And that's all from Matthew Benham. That's why they've been so successful in terms of like how quick they've come from League One and established themselves as a Premier League team. The recruitment was always unbelievable. Like the players that have come through there, I could name 10 that have had careers in the Premier League.
You got when he left?
Rosler.
Yeah, the relationship you'd had.
I was.
At least you knew Warburton though.
Yeah, exactly. He brought me in, yeah. So, and I think I'd signed there and they was already talking about giving me a new deal and stuff like that. It was just a great place to be and all of us were doing well. So, and then we got promoted and then we obviously faced them next season in the Championship. In the Championship. Then Wolves come in, we got promoted, and obviously the Vegas promotion trip afterwards was, again, Matthew Benham paid for everything. The whole...
Oh, Matthew Benham then? Is he the owner?
He's the owner, yeah. He's the one who does all the stats. Paid for the flights, all the pool parties.
Did you know that were coming beforehand, or is that one of them promotion day in the dressing room?
It was mentioned like the Christmas do, you know what I mean? It was spoke about, thinking, God, what can we do here? But we had no idea that he was just going to go, there you go, lads. And it was everyone. It weren't just players, it was all the staff.
What's Warburton like at a pool party?
He didn't go. He didn't go. Only because we had Davey Weir as well. He was his assistant. So him and Davey Weir never come, but like all the physios and masseurs and sports scientists and all that went. It was unbelievable, to be fair. I'll never forget we had Neil Gregg. Like he's a little fella with a massive head. So you remember like the little you remember like the little things you could get.
Little characters.
Yeah, understand. With
a bobblehead.
And I remember looking over and we was in Surrender or something like that, and he's up on the table. Well, it don't look like he's up on the table, but he's up on the table and his head's just wobbling about. And then all you've just seen is him just fucking fall backwards, like clean, like dead straight, like that, bang, and his head's just bounced off the floor. And it was the first night, like we'd walked in there, Wolves had been promoted, Wolves were a massive club, but it looked like we just won the Premier League. There was signs and, it was frightening. And I was 21 years old, you're thinking, fucking hell, it's unbelievable, this.
You can get on the big screen and that,
yeah, that was it.
Get whatever you want written on the big screen, and all the drinks come out. And
yeah, and it was just unbelievable. Everyone was, it was just brilliant.
Fair play to him, the owner.
Yeah.
I know you've done well for him, but...
Thing is, that staff will remember that for the rest of their life, won't they?
Yeah.
It's like trip of a lifetime for them.
Oh, 100%. Didn't have to pay a thing. Like it was. Yeah, I think that's so important. I think the more I've gone through football now, I think it sounds terrible to say, but the players are important. But I think the whole infrastructure, the backroom staff, and the physios, the people that clean the place, they're just as important, and they need to be treated with the same respects from everyone, just so you get that whole infrastructure working right. Do you know what I mean?
Pulling the same direction.
Yeah. Otherwise, you just get fragments, and then that's when it goes wrong.
Good dressing room at that time.
Brentford was, mate. We're all still best friends now, and we all have the same thing. Like, would you go back? Like, wouldn't you just love to go back and do it all again?
Yeah.
Like, do you wish you never left? Like, none of us ever had to leave. Everyone thought that the best way to further your career was to make the move to a bigger club. Like when I left to go Birmingham, I thought I was signing for Birmingham, who were going to get to the Premier League. Harry Redknapp's the manager, a big Birmingham, little Brentford. Fucking chalk and cheese when I got there. Brentford were miles ahead of where Birmingham were as a club. And everybody says the same thing. Yeah, I mean, that's why I can't say speak any higher of Brentford, because as a club, the way they did it, the infrastructure, the people that were in positions of power there just did it right, and they cared about everybody. Yeah, it was a great place to be.
Who came in after Warburton then when he left?
We had a Dutch fella called Marinus Dijkhausen. Fuck me. What a geezer. We went...
I didn't know which way that was going to go then, by the way. Fuck me.
So he turned up. We obviously... that first season in the Champ, we got to the semi-finals of the playoff, didn't we? We went... We played Borough in the semis against Karanka's Borough, and we didn't beat them for the first two games, but we come up from League One, got to the chat. I think we finished fifth. Got to the semi-finals thinking, fucking hell, we got a chance here, because we fancied ourselves to beat anyone on the day. And they were just our nemesis, like Karanka's low block and the way we played. We end up losing. But anyway, yeah, Marinus comes in, and he's assistant, a fella called Rob Beck or something like that. Big 6 foot, got to be 6'8", skinny Dutch fella, but like seemed a bit like aggressive. So we was all like, "What the fuck's going on here? What's going on here?" And we start pre-season, first run on like an 11. So he's like, "Lads, I want you to do every line and back." So we're like, "Fucking hate that run." So we've all shot off like a cannon. He goes, we're about 10 yards in. Whoa, guys, slow down. We're like, "What do you mean? It's the first day of pre-season." So.
By the way, I like that more than the no.
So the assistant comes in, Rob or whatever his name is, and he's doing this with us, and we're going like, "Mate, it's like a half jog,
Trot in the park."
Yeah, trot in the park. And he's like, "That's enough for today." Then we get the balls out, then we just play with the ball. I'm thinking, fucking, this is unbelievable. We're used to like running your bollocks off. Takes us to Portugal for pre-season, like the pre-season tour. I think we was there 10 days. We had 4 games of golf and 3 nights out. And he knew about every single one of them. Like we'd train in the morning, which was an absolute doddle because of the heat when you train in the morning. Then he'd go, we're going down the golf course, lads. He'd tee off first, we'd tee off. When we get back to the clubhouse, there's like pints waiting for us. And he's sitting there like, come on, like sitting there thinking, this geezer's a legend. And he lost us. And Jonathan Douglas was the main part of that dressing room. Don't know if you know Dougie. No. Do you remember him? Yeah. So he was you ask any of us younger ones who we look up to and who it was him, like, he didn't say anything, but when he spoke, he fucking listened. And he just used to look at me as if to say, don't do that again. I'd be like, fucking whatever now. Like, still one of my best friends to this day, but he was everything to all of us. And I don't know if it was Marinas or the club, and Dougie was getting a bit on. He had a bit of a knee problem or whatever, but pulled us all in a meeting one day. And this is one of my biggest regrets in football, funny enough. And he said, we're excluding Dougie from the squad. He's going to be training on his own until he finds somewhere else. I remember sitting there thinking, that's not on that. But I didn't say anything. But Saunds stood up and said, I think you've made a mistake there. And obviously it had no effect or whatever, but that's one of my, I wish, but especially being the person who I was, because I would say anything to anyone about anything at that time, like if I think I'm right or I think what they're doing is wrong. And I didn't stick up for him, and that was, I always think about that to this day. Like, and that was when Marinas lost us.
Was that early doors then?
It was in pre-season, yeah. So, but we'd obviously come back from Portugal, and I think that was like a bit poor form from me. But
that was the end result. What happened? Did whatever Saunders say matter? Or
no, I think Dougie ended up going Ipswich, and we ended up starting the season. We was fucking shite. Like, we was miles off it physically anyway.
I can't imagine the golf and the nights out on the pre-season trip helped. Yeah,
we were, and the model had just come in, so they'd signed a load of players from like Europe, but they were just nowhere near it. You know, Championship football, you need to know what you get. You need to have seen been there, done it a little bit, I don't think he lasted long. I think he did 10 games, and then Dean Smith come in from Walsall, and then that season sort of, I think we finished 9th again, which again, unbelievable to do in the Championship, but for us, from where we'd been in terms of progression, it felt like it had gone a bit stale. And then Dean Smith come in with Rich O'Kelly, and Dean Smith was unbelievable. Rich O'Kelly was...
We've never really heard much about him, have we?
Oh, he was great. Like, he's obviously been at Orient, been as a player and stuff like that. I've got a funny story. He was like, he always used to say he was the party planner or whatever, and like, we had a dressing room where we'd all like go out all the time, and he knew about it. And he was big friends with Barry Earn and Eddie Earn because of being at Orient, and it was a darts final. I was like, Gaffer, you can't get us tickets to the darts final, can you? And he's like, fucking, we've got training tomorrow. I was like, yeah, but it's only 5 of us and we're going with the girls. He was like, all right, well, I get them, but fucking make sure you're on it tomorrow. No problem, Gaffer. He sorts the tickets out. We get the cab to Ali Pally. I think me, Alan McCormack. Would you know Lewis McLeod was at Rangers? He's a fucking hilarious fella, by the way. We'll call him Boris the Blade, because we went Cheltenham once, and it was the first time he'd ever been out with us, and we'd gone, you go out the night before you go to the racing. We've turned up into like a private function. I think it might have been Brambles' private function beforehand. And Lewis is like a 5.5 foot like little ginger fella from Scotland. And he's had a drink and he's turned into someone else, and he's told Titus Bramble that he's going to cut him. We're like, what are you doing? So he's got chucked out.
Titus's deal.
Yeah. He's got chucked out. So
the blade.
We've left him, and we're like, anyway, long story short, we get back about 4 hours later. He's we'd hired like an Airbnb, and he's in the doorway, blue, because he couldn't get in, frozen. So we've ended up calling him Boris the Blade from there. So yeah. Me, Macca, Saunds, Tarky, Boris and Scott Hogan and all the girls. And anyway, we've gone to a darts, got absolutely wankered. I think we end up going out afterwards. Everyone stayed at mine. I think 4 o'clock in the morning we've gone into training the next day, and we're all, when you're red, you fucking tried to shower it off, nothing. We're all hiding in like the skip bins and stuff like this. We all just like avoided everything the whole morning. So we're thinking we've got away with this. And never forget, we was done our warm-up, got through that. Like, you can smell it on yourself, so you're trying to stay away from people. And the gaffer set up like a big box possession. So there's 2 teams in the middle, team on the outside, just a standard one of them. He's standing right behind me, like, not right behind me, but like he's viewing from behind me. So it's been going for a couple of minutes, and lads are half getting away with it. The ball's come to me, and we're on one touch on the outside, and I can see Scotty through there. It's not an easy pass. I should have just kept it simple, but I'm trying to like break the line to Scotty. The ball's come to me, it's bounced up off my other foot. I've gone to kick it and he's fucked off over there. And all I've heard is him go from me, I'm for fuck's sake, Harlee. And he went, you lot in. And he just sent us all in, like the ones that had went out, because we were sort of fucking...
Spoiling it.
Oh, we spoiled it. We thought he was getting away with it. Since he said, you lot were fucking awful that whole session. He was like, you're my captain. He went, you can't be doing that. I was like, oh, like, I'm sorry, it got a bit out of hand or whatever. He was like, just fucking make sure we win on Saturday. I went, no problem. End up, I think we won 4-0 or something like that. But yeah, he was class. He was.
Have you had a manager you could like ask for some tickets to the Ali Pali or anything? Have that kind of relationship?
Dickov.
Yeah.
Dickov would have been like that. There's not many though. Like, I can't imagine Alan Irvine
No.
which isn't a bad thing. It's just,
No.
but
But it's good that you could have
Yeah,
that
it is,
relationship, that
yeah,
conversation.
No, he was really good. We actually done well under him, and the recruitment was a lot better under him as well.
we talk a lot on here about sliding doors moments, and when you were saying about there'll be a lot of players regretting leaving, but it's also the staff as well. If you look at Rosler, you think he's obviously at the time thought Wigan's a better job than Brentford.
Well, the thing was with Brentford was we was always told the new stadium was coming. Like when I first signed, it would be 3 years, and although we'd had success, like nothing was really being delivered. So like we was in the Championship, we'd all done well in the Championship, we'd finished fifth. The next step, naturally, we thought was to kick on and go and get to the Premier League or within the next couple of years. But it just felt like we weren't going to get there at Brentford. It was almost like the club was a little bit too small and it was always going to be the nearly club.
And would the owner have had enough money to do that then?
I think so, yeah. I think so. I mean, again, I said about a promotion from League One. We got a bonus for finishing fifth in the Championship, which was ridiculous. Like, it was so our wages were all capped at a certain level while we was at Brentford, but the bonuses they went top heavy down depending on where you finish, as long as you finish in the top 10. And then we had bonuses for how many set pieces you scored and for positive goal difference. So it went up incrementally on each one. So it was all like incentive based. So like I remember playing that following season when we finished 9th. I think we was 12th at the time. Before the game, we played Huddersfield and we beat them 5-1 because we knew we needed 3 clear goals to get a bonus. And we finished 9th. We were all on the coach afterwards, fucking celebrating.
And what would it be for, say, that goal difference thing?
So I can't remember individually, but we finished 5th and we got 4.5 million between the squad. Pro rata.
Jesus Christ.
Like ridiculous. The year we went up from League One, we got, I can't remember exactly. I think it was 2.5 million. Pro rata.
That's more than we got. I think that's more than we got for getting to the Premier League.
When the year we finished 5th, it was 12 million if we got promoted to the Premier League that season.
Wow.
Because then I've done all of the bonus schemes ever since, like because I've been captain at Blues and stuff like that. I always refer back to that one. I was like, Brentford were doing this. Fucking like, we got to do something like this, you know what I mean? But that was just the way that...
4.5 million for finish 5th?
Yeah, but he eventually scrapped that.
Yeah,
I think a couple of years later he scrapped that and increased the wage cap so lads could get more basic and the bonuses were lower because he'd obviously done his bollocks a couple of times on the bonuses. Do you know what I mean?
I'm sure ours are like 3 million, maybe 3.5.
Yeah, it was
Getting promoted to the Prem.
Yeah.
So he's another one that didn't work really, that manager, that Dutch manager. It just sounded, them pre-seasons.
Yeah. I mean, he'd come in, he tried, but yeah, it didn't work. I mean, I think the lads just sort of lost respect for him. I think, obviously, I remember now we went out on one of the nights and he was like in at 11 and at 12, like, give us a curfew. Well, it was already 11 o'clock, so we was already meant to be back. Someone texted him saying, can we stay out? Lads are really bonding well. He's like, yeah, no problem. Just make sure that you're all right for training in the morning.
Was it Villamora as well?
Yeah.
It doesn't get busy until about 11 or 12 either, that bar.
Yeah, so we'd only had a
sending the text?
Who was sending the text?
I'm just
at the
imagining
time?
you around the table go, bonding.
I think
bonding.
I think it was Alan McCormack. He was like the senior one in the team at the time. I'm sure it was Mac or it might have been Saunds. I don't really remember, but we'd only just like had a couple of beers, so like we're like, fucking hell, yes, he said we can stay out. So I remember walking outside and there's like a restaurant with like a little fish thing that goes alongside it and there's like little glass banister and people literally sit the other side having their food. out of nowhere, Will Grigg has just dove in it and he's swimming front crawl, but kicking fuck out of all. People sitting there, they're getting fucking cased. We're not even in anywhere, so he's now soaked. So we've had to get him out, get him a load of clothes off of like one of the stalls on the side.
You just see it's like Alton Towers, isn't it? When the log flume goes down, it splashes everybody on the sides of it. Like,
It's bad enough when you're in pool and you get a splash of it. When you're having your
I think their candles were going out and yeah.
Just
honestly.
imagine people on holiday. There's a footballer just gone and jumped in a fish tank.
Yeah.
Swimming in a
doing the front crawl.
Well, it was the dressing room though. Like we just love stuff like that. There was always like some form of banter going on. I'll never forget. Me and the missus went to. This is fucking bad. This. Me and the missus went to Paris for an international break or something, and we did that Lovelock Bridge, the padlock bridge. This was around the new time of Instagram. So back in them days, you could only do like 15-second clip or something like that and upload it, couldn't you? Fucking hell. So Mrs. is videoing. She just directed it all right. We'll walk down the bridge, showing our feet. And then we'll get to the bridge. We'll put the thing on together. We'll throw the key in and say, I love you to each other. Yeah, whatever. Whatever you need. Like, whatever gets you through the day.
Whatever you need.
Anyway, we do it. She puts it on Instagram, don't think nothing of it. So have the rest of the trip and then come back into training, walk into the canteen. And Brentford just used to be like a load of porter cabins in a cricket pavilion with a big screen with the canteen. And this fucking video is just on loop. Right? But at the end, because like it was only 15 seconds, all you hear is me go, I love you. And like she don't say nothing, it cuts out. So the lads are fucking battering me, and that was Saunds and Scott Barron, who's now my agent, and they're like in the corner pissing himself or whatever. Anyway, thought I'd dealt with it for a few days. We get to Saturday and we was away, and the manager goes, lads, 10 minutes early before pre-match, we're just going to do a meeting. I was thinking, it's fucking weird. Didn't think nothing of it. Walk in there and we've got Soccer AM on the telly. So I'm thinking, this is weird. So we're sitting and watching Soccer AM, and it was, I think it was Lovejoy at the time. And he goes, what about this melt from Brentford, Harlee Dean? And the video comes up, and me and the missus are walking down the thing, and all the lads are pissing themselves. Saunds had sent it into Soccer AM. And I'm like, oh my God. So then my dad's ringing me going, what's this fucking video? Like, my dad would hate things like, he's like, you're meant to be a man, what's the matter with you? Blah, blah, blah. Put the phone down. Ruined me. And just before we went out, and all the lads at Uwe Rosa was the manager, they're all pissing himself at the time. And he was like quite serious before game day, but even him, he was just ruining me. And again, that was Saunds, so I got him to thank for that. But
Did you say anything to the missus? Like, I told you it were a bad idea.
Oh, fuck it. The damage was done, do you know what I mean? The damage was done
Never
at that
again.
point. Yeah.
Thing is, it's reaching festive. You know, in front of the tree, matching pajamas and that.
It's a big thing now, isn't it?
Yeah,
That HA
I've
design.
said before, if you've got kids, fair enough. But when they get the dog involved in that,
Yeah.
matching pajamas.
Last year, she actually got me a set. Do you know what? But her mum and dad come down, and I'm thinking, I ain't sitting here and it was like red shorts and a white t-shirt, but it did say dad on it, and the boys had the same or whatever. But I'm thinking, her dad's like a big 6 foot East London, like, I ain't sitting in here in matching pajamas with him on Christmas Eve. I said, I ain't wearing them.
So you got him a bear?
Oh, no, it would have just been me and her and the kids. But then the kids would have gone to bed, so it'd have been me sitting there with her and her mum and dad. And I was like, and she was just like, oh, you just spoil everything. I was like, fucking hell. Yeah, everywhere now, them, aren't they?
I'll be getting some this year, will you?
We need to get a picture of you in them.
Why me?
Just be funny.
I'll get some sort of
Couple goals. Did you get some stick? Leave it when you didn't sign a new contract.
Yeah, so again, hindsight, it was a bad decision. I should have stayed. Brentford had offered me a new contract. I was club captain at the time. Dean Smith was the manager. We was doing really well. But I just thought that was the next step, the way to get to, like, Harry Redknapp had just taken over at Birmingham. I was a West Ham fan. I had a season ticket when Harry was manager. I was thinking, fucking hell, this club's only going one way. Seen him sign David Stockdale, who was the best goalie in the league for like 3 years. Shay Adams. They were making loads of signings. Sam Gallagher. I just thought that was going to be this year. You sign, they're up. And Dean Smith was like, don't do it. He was like, you don't know nothing about that club. Obviously, he was a Villa fan, but he was like, just don't do it. Stay here. Don't go Villa. He said, don't go Blues. He said, if you want to go anywhere, go somewhere. If you want to leave, just go anywhere else at Blues. And
Is that because he knew?
yeah, he must have. But he obviously couldn't say what he knew. But he obviously wanted me to stay as well. And he was a Villa fan, so it was a bit in jest. But he was trying to give me advice, like not to do it. But then, you know, his money talks, doesn't it? Unfortunately, I'm not going to say it. Like, obviously, I wanted to get to the Premier League, but the contract as well was something that I couldn't say no to. So
It's a classic new challenge, isn't it?
yeah. And you hear so many lads go, I just wanted the new challenge or whatever. I did, but the money was good as well. You know what I mean?
At least you're honest about it. Yeah,
that's it. You got to be honest, and you hear so many people not be honest. And I'm pretty sure that Harry Redknapp had no fucking idea who I was, because we sat in the meeting when I went up to Blues finally, and he's sitting across the table from me, and he's like, "Yeah, well, I've seen you play, and exactly what I need, big, strong centre half." But he's looking at my agent. He's not looking at me while he's talking about me. I'm thinking, fucking hell, is he talking to him here? He's like, yeah, terrific player, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I've walked out there going, Scotty. So Scotty Barron.
Scott, you've just signed
Yeah, I
for
was like,
Birmingham.
Scotty, are you thinking what I'm thinking? He went, yeah, I think he was talking to me. I'm like, fucking hell. I was like, I can't believe what's just happened.
So he thought that you were his agent?
Well, that's what I thought. But then the next day after training, long story short, he's from around where I'm from. He knows my miss old man knows everyone around the area. He knows the Tibbses. The Tibbses are Harry's friend, and he's putting my arm around me going, I didn't know you know the Tibbses. You should have said something, blah, 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 like acting like we're best friends. But I think he only knew me because I turned up to train that day. So he's like, oh, fuck me, we signed in, not the other one.
Like, were you?
Yeah, it's him. I thought we had the other one. It was just, again, I could have gone to Sheffield, but they'd just come up from League One. So I thought that was a bit of a step backwards, but they fucking then ended up getting promoted straight away. And Forest there wasn't an offer, but there was conversations. But yeah, went Blues.
How far into that thingy at Birmingham did you think, I've fucked up here, this is a bit of a circus?
Well, I think we had 3 games, and Redknapp had just signed 17 players, and he got sacked in a week. We had 3 in a week. We played Norwich away, Leeds away, Preston at home, and then he was sacked straight afterwards. And he come in afterwards, went, lads, I'm going to be sacked tonight. And I was like, I've only been here a week. Like, I've been here 10 days. Like, what the fuck happens now? And yeah, he was gone. And then Steve Cottrell come in, and then the fun fucking began. What a geezer. But it was a shit show.
Was Harry, I know you're only there 10 days with him, but was he hands-on? Did he come out and join in?
He come out, honestly, we did a week's training. Like, I think I must have signed it was like an international break, and we had a week before the following week of the games. Every day we'd train, and we'd go outside and go, ball between 2, lads. And we'd be like, all right, we'd have ball between 2. That was our warm-up. Then we go into 11v11 every day. And all he wanted me to do, they signed this big fella, Xuandong, like for fucking stupid money. I later found out. I think he was on 50 grand a week in the Championship, and he was fucking useless. But he was 6'4", and he was like a 10. He said, all I want you to do is just hit the ball into the big man, and we'll just play off him, because he must have done that at other clubs and stuff like that. And that was all he was doing, was getting the ball out of feet in like a soft diag into so the striker would run on, so the defence would drop, and we'd hit this fella, and then he was the one that it was all going to play off. But he couldn't play, so it was like he was hitting it to him, and then we never knew what was going to happen after that.
Did it come out that they signed the wrong player or something with that Undr?
I don't know. Well, I don't know, but it wouldn't surprise me. But he was lovely bloke, and like proper.
I bet he were on fucking 50 a week. I'm very happy as lad.
Always
be a
happy.
nice
Always
lad.
had a smile on his face.
and he'd work so like if we weren't doing anything, he'd just be like doing press ups on the floor while training's going on, or he'd just pull a skipping rope out from his waist and just start skipping. Serious, that's God's honest truth. And we was like,
Who, Redknapp or Undr?
Undr, yeah, check Undr. He'd just pull a skipping rope out and just start doing skipping while the coach was talking, and he was in between doing so. He didn't speak a word of English either, so then he'd just do 50 press ups, and we were all like, check, come on, like we're training there, mate. And he's just like that. He used to wear this cream that made it would fuck it like this room's a big room. You wouldn't want to be in this room with this cream that he'd wear. Mate, it smelt like petrol and horse shit. Like just he'd rub it all over himself before you go out in the tunnel. Oh, it was awful. And lads would be like, if you change next to him, you was gutted, because if it got on your clothes, it's stuck.
And what's he doing this for? So you think centre half's not going to get anywhere near him?
No, it must have been like a heat. Must have been like one of them own. I don't know,
Like
heat
DP.
rubs or something, but like, he brought it from home and it was his own version of it and whatever. Fucking hell, it was horrible. Horrible.
So what's Cottrell like?
He's got a job on his hand, really, with all these players that have come in. And
Oh, mate, it was just chalk and cheese. Like, from Harry Redknapp to Cottrell, like, Cottrell was just fucking unbelievable. Like, in terms of, it was just, that was when the circus began. Just the typical, well, you're not fit enough. That's why you're losing games. And fucking, he used to do these horseshoe runs, but like, they'd never end. And when that was done, I remember walking over and he wanted us to do every line and back like 10 times. This was in like another international break. And we had Jeremy Boga, this little nippy number 10, was like the best five-a-side player you've ever seen. But Cottrell would go, if you don't want to do it, lads, just go in. And obviously you're not going to. He just went like this, walked in. It got to the point where lads were just thinking, this is too much.
I like him.
Yeah, too much. But do you know what? I've missed the point. He didn't come in straight after Redknapp. Lee Carsley took over for an interim period. And me and Michael Morrison were playing with each other, and I think we got beat 5 or 6-1 at Hull. Cottrell was watching because he was about to take over. So when Cottrell's come in, he said, you two can't play together. He said, Harlee, you're up here, and Morrow, you're down here. He said, your line's all over the place. So I got dropped, so I didn't play for 3 games. So I was just on the bench when he first come in. So I'm like, fucking this geezer. And he's just making us run as well. And like I could tell like I weren't what he wanted or whatever. So I weren't like the happiest, considering I'd just signed there and whatsoever. But we was away somewhere, and I was sitting there watching the football after the food, and all the lads had just fucked off, but I was like watching the game, and I'd noticed he's still over in the corner. So I was playing a bit of the game as well. I ain't just going to sit there. I was sitting there watching it on my own, but I thought, I'm not letting this geezer fucking beat me. And he comes over and sits with me, and he goes, I've got 2 bits of paper. He went, I'm going to write on this one what I think of you, and you're going to write on this one what you think of me. And we're going to have this conversation, and then afterwards we're going to see if your opinion's changed. So I was like, all right, fucking let's do it then. So I wrote on mine, bit of a prick. And he's put Essex wide boy. So anyway, we sit there, and we must have sat there for an hour and a half talking. And do you know what? Everything changed after that moment. So he goes, right, what did you write on yours? And I went, you're a bit of a prick. And he went, do you still think that? I went, no, not at all. And he went, do you want to know what I wrote? And I went, yeah. He said, Essex wide boy. And I went, do you still think that? And he went, no, you're a student of the game. Or this fucking student of the game. He then used to say it in press. So all the lads are going, oh, he's a student of the game, student of the game. Every fucking time, Dookie. Every time, fucking. And then from then on, I was like, we was like best mates. Like, he used to talk to me. He was still a whopper, but he was unbelievable.
What a word. I love that word, whopper.
He walked around with Adidas flip-flops on, like a gold chain, and like had this waddle, and he'd come into the physio room, and he hated the physios. So he'd come in, and like someone would be there with like a bad knee or whatever, and he'd just put his hands over it like this, and he goes, a bit warm. It's a bit warm, that. He went, take your Dick Laflenac and you'll be alright by Wednesday. And the physio's like, he's done his cruise shirt. He's like, no, I've seen these before. Like he tried to control everything, and in the end controlled nothing. So it was just like chaos.
So you know when you sat opposite and you wrote all that down, you were out the team at this point?
Yeah.
Were you straight back in as soon as he?
Yeah, because it hadn't been working whilst, I think it was 3 or 4 games, and we hadn't won either. So I was due to come back in.
Right, yeah.
But I was back in after that, and I played pretty much every game under him.
That's some bollocks button, bit of a prick.
I know.
I think it could have gone even harder if you think he's a cunt.
Yeah.
Just write 4 letters, C-U-N-T.
I have been pretty much like that my whole career though. Like I'll just say exactly what I feel at the time, and then it will take me like, I'll think about it a week later and go, what the fuck was I doing? Like hindsight, I always think, I'm a bit better now I'm older. But yeah, at the time I was just like, yeah, a bit of a prick.
How was the dressing room, considering so many players, so many different nationalities in comparison with what you'd experienced before at Brentford, tight-knit?
Oh yeah, this was fragmented when I walked in there. So they still had all of the lads that were already there. They signed a load more. So it was just, there must have been 20, I'd say 30 players like in the squad. You had David Cottrell, I know you've had him on, who was just fucking...
I've got 35 players made an appearance for Birmingham that season.
Yeah, see.
I think we haven't even mentioned the owner yet.
Oh, yeah, it was carnage. Like the whole infrastructure of the club was they invested so much into the players, like in terms of the salaries and the transfer fees to get players in, that they forgot about everything else. Like the training ground was falling down. Like we had one shower that worked and 3G was cut up and pitches weren't right and stuff like that. But the players were earning stupid money. Like now, looking at them now, they've done it. I know they're investing in everything, but that club needed that when I first signed there 8 years ago. Like the infrastructure needed to be sorted out, and thankfully they're doing it now, because it can be a massive, massive club, and it is a massive club.
Was it just naivety on the owner's part? Like, did he just need? It would be a director of football that sorts that out.
Somebody who knows how the football clubs run.
Is he just come in all this money and just gone? Oh, we must have to sign players. That's how people do it.
I think so. I think he got taken advantage of as well. I mean, I think the owner probably wasn't hands-on. He had this fella, Xuandong Ren, who was, as you said, the sporting director, who was controlling the money. But this fella used to just run a restaurant for him in China, and then he's come over. yeah, and he's running.
He's got a successful all-you-can-eat Chinese buffet. He fucking do for me. The restaurant's full 7 nights a week. Fucking get him in. Send him to Birmingham.
And he then was running the club, but
did he come out in training kit?
Yeah, that's him. Yeah. I mean,
is he what?
Yeah, he come out in full kit and boots to watch training. yeah, God's honest truth. Like the owner would turn up now and again, but Dong was there all the time, right? And I think in the end he just got found out, because they weren't running it properly. Do you know what I mean? We might have fell out, because again, like I was then club captain at this point, and I was calling people out and stuff like that. But I remember I still had 2 years on my contract. They just sacked Gary Monk, who was the best thing that the club had done at the whole point. He changed the club within a year, and then all because of something to do with Jude. And
best thing they'd done, getting him in, not sacking him.
Yeah, getting him in. Yeah. He changed the whole club, sort of brought the community together, the fan base back together, and we'd started to do all right. And it was something to do with Jude. I'm not too sure what it was, but in terms of he needed to be guaranteed playing time and or something like that. And anyway, I remember being in the off season, Gary leaving, and we was all fuming about it. And Dong then comes into me in pre-season and says, "I want to give you a new contract." And I was thinking, I've still got 2 years left. I want to make you club. He said the manager was Pep Clotet. He said he wants to make you club captain and want to give you a new contract. So I remember sitting in his office with him, and he was like, give you this and 2 years and 3 years. And I went, I've already got 2 left. Is that 3 years on top of my 2, or 2 years on top of my 2, or whatever way around it was? And he went, yeah. So I've come out of there with
this. A spare rib.
Yeah. I've come out of there with a 4-year deal that was unbelievable. It was like incremental, that didn't stop throughout the 4 years. They're obviously games related. And I said to my agent, I was like, I've just done this deal. He was like, did you sign it? I went, well, no, not yet. He went, mate, he said, well, you just got to sign it. Next thing you know, Jukey was up. Jukey done one. And then Maxime Collin was up. Maxime done one. And we've all come down, like you're just walking around in the days going, that just happened.
I'm imagining him stood there like he's in restaurant taking an order. So that's 2 extra years and their increment to salary. Yeah, no problem.
So you want that as a starter? Yeah.
So starting on 2 years.
That's the main course. Yeah, that's me wages. Yeah, sound.
Going back to the original question about that dressing room at the time, I think the lads knew it was going to go this way. Like you had Jukey in there, who's a switched-on player. Like he's not stupid. He knows what's happening.
Jukovic?
Yeah, Lucas Jukovic, like unbelievable, great guy. Like that should be his role. He will end up doing that role, like sporting director, head of football, something like that, because he's just that sort of person. And but the dressing room, it just weren't working. Like I remember, you've had Cottrell and David, like, and we were out on the Christmas do in London, and we're standing in the hall of STK, like the hotel. They started having a scrap, like on the marble floor, and it's all dark in there anyway. So they were having a scrap, and his brother-in-law's gone to get involved. So I'm thinking, well, you can't do that. So I've got his brother-in-law, and I'm kicking him, and he's sliding up the hall because it's like a shiny floor. He's going like that while they're scrapping around on the thing. And that was just standard. There'd be fights all the time, like fights in dressing room. We had Emilio and Sue, I think, just chin someone for no reason. It was just, oh mate, I'd never seen anything like it. I'd come from Brentford where we was all best mates, we was all out together, we was all just heading in the same direction, to this dressing room where he hated him and he wanted to fuck off there, and he was earning more money, so he weren't happy with him, and it was just, it was a shit show.
I mean, I know from from your point of view, you've got your good contract, you're sorted, but there's also a bit like you want to do well on the pitch as well. So were you just pulling your hair out? Like, come on, lads.
I think I'd signed. I was 26 years old, and I left there to get to the Premier League, and there was players in there like Shay Adams and Sam Gallagher and Yotta, Max, like people that we'd taken the 3 best players at the time from Brentford as well. Like, we should have gone and done something that season, but it was just, and then it was a nightmare, and that was the whole time at Birmingham. It was just putting out fires. It ended up being that if we stayed up, that was the best thing that could have happened at that point in time, and it was just like,
It's like Wild West.
yeah, it was. It was like, it was manager after manager. Redknapp, then Lee Carsley, Cottrell come in, Gary Monk. Who come after Gary Monk? Pep Platet. I took Karanka. Fucking Bowyer. Oh, it was just, I've just counted 8 there, and I'm pretty sure I'm missing some in 6 years. And all the time, like that club, when it's not going well as well, the fans are fucking on you, mate. And if you're captain as well, you're the first one they're coming for. Going there and not being successful, and seeing that Brentford were going like this, and I was going like this, I was like, fucking hell, what have I done here? But you make them decisions, don't you? And you have to live with them, really.
Did you play back at Brentford?
Oh, fucking yeah. With Cottrell, lost 5-1 at Griffin Park, and the fans were singing "Cheer Up, Harlee Dean." Oh, what can it mean to be a fat shit defender in a shit football team?
Catchy.
Yeah. And then we lost, and the club put it over the tannoy, like the tune.
The song.
As we're walking off the pitch. So someone in the club put the tune on, they're all singing it to me. Because I'd done like an interview after I left, which got taken. I love Brentford. I played 249 times for him, like, gave me the chance in football. But I said something about this squad's 10 times better when I signed at Birmingham. This squad's 10 times better than the one at Brentford. And they took it in a disrespectful way. But I didn't mean it like that. I just meant this one, when I looked at it, the players, like Brentford, we were a load of unknowns who had done well. Birmingham were established players that I thought were going to do better. Anyway, it went a bit wrong, and yeah, the fans didn't like it. But then someone put it over to Dean Smith. Actually rang me afterwards, and he was like, "So sorry about that. Like, I don't like the fans will be the fans, but whoever's done that, I'm going to find out they're sacked in the morning because that's not on." And I was like, "Yeah, that's fine." Like, it proper affected me, but fucking is what it is.
Were you like walking off? Were you angry, or were you?
I was just so
upset?
disappointed.
Yeah.
Just, I probably was upset because I'd been there, my whole life, like professionally, was at Brentford, and I think I still now played the most games since the World War II or something. I'd just done an interview for the programme in a couple of weeks for him. Club captain, got promotion. Sort of, we was the era that built the foundation for the team to go and be what it was. So what this fella was saying, and especially at Griffin Park where I was loved. Yeah, it just hurt because I loved that place. My parents loved it. Like, we'd go into the Beehive underneath, which was like the club bar. There weren't no players' lounge or nothing. You'd come out of the changing room, you'd go into the bar with all the fans, and you'd all stand there and have a pint, and the fans would know your mum and dad, and you'd know the fans, and it was just a proper family club. So yeah, I was gutted with that. But again, like, it's football, innit, and it happens.
A few people mentioned on Twitter your shrug celebration. Is this when Karanka?
Yeah, Karanka. So that's another mad. It shows how mad the club was. Before that game that weekend, we all got a text from the owner, like the real owner in China, and we'd never spoke to him. And it was like, so like, "Good luck today, Harlee." I was thinking, I was saying, "Juki, did you get one?" He said, yeah, I got one. He was like, "We know what's coming, like, if it's no good." Anyway, we got beat. So that night I get a call from the owner, and I'm in the house, and this Chinese fella's talking to me, and mate, this conversation, I don't even know how we had the conversation. And he was like, yes. And I was like, he was basically saying, do we need to sack him? And I already spoke to the lads, and I was like, "Lads, this conversation's going to happen. He's going to call me. What am I doing?" They was like, "Look, you got to get him gone. Like, he's got to go." So the owner rings me. We somehow managed to, between two languages, have the conversation to sack Karanka. So we go into training next day for the warm down, and Dong has ordered a big team meeting, team meal. It's Mother's Day, but we've got a big team meal at 3:00 in the afternoon. After training, we're like, "It's fucking Mother's Day. Like, we need to get back to the partners and that." Anyway, we're having this big meal and we're all sitting there and Karanka comes in and Dong stands up and starts giving this big speech on how good Karanka is and how much he's trying his hardest. And we're thinking, fucking hell, like, he ain't gone here. Like, we fucked it. And he went,
it's not worked.
Yeah, it's not worked. And he goes, he finishes it with, that's why it's with a really heavy heart that I have to say bye to my friend. He's been sacked. And he hands him one of them big, you know, the hams. Did you see Mourinho get given one by someone?
Oh, like what's in the airport?
Yeah, one of the big hams on the wooden platter. He gives him one of them.
He sends him up.
Yeah, but so then, like, it's fucking like a comedy sketch. It's like a comedy sketch. You can't believe what's going on.
Sends him off back with some Palermo ham.
And you can't believe what's happening. And then Karanka then stands up and he was like, oh, sorry.
I'm assuming he knows that he's been sacked. This isn't the first time he's heard about it.
Yeah, but you say that, but his staff didn't know. So he's sitting there next to Dong on like the head table and his staff are all sitting there. So when Dong said that, all of his staff have fucking gone like this. They're all fuming thinking, how have you not told us? Like blah, 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 blah. Karanka then stands up. You just can't believe some of the shit we've... No, I didn't even remember this, but Karanka then stands up and starts giving a speech and we're thinking, what's going on here? He goes, I'd like to thank Harlee, Juki and Neil for getting me the sack because he must think that us three are the ones that have spoke to the owners or he somehow found out or the owners said something. When, yes, I did have the conversation, but I was club captain and I was speaking for all of the lads. He was
asked the question.
And then he then goes on to batter the head physio, Pete Shaw, who's a big fucking 6'4". You know him?
Pete,
yeah. Oh, we're from Norwich. Mm-hmm. Goes on to batter him. And then he just walks out. All of his staff are fuming. Pete's had enough the whole season. He stands up, goes tearing out after him. I think Juki and Hunty go tearing after Pete to stop him. I think they end up stopping him, but Pete was going to rip his head off.
He's a big lad.
I know. I was going to say, did he take the arm?
I don't know. I can't remember about the arm. I'll be honest. I think he must have took it with him eventually.
I like that gear, I'm sliding it under my table.
Only roast as well. You know it, yeller out.
But then the shrug, with the original question, the next game was live on Sky. Bowyer's come in, and the Masseur Egg, Paul Doherty, he went, "You're going to score tonight," and he went, he's rubbing me, and I'm thinking, "Fucking, I ain't scored in ages." He went, "You're going to score tonight." He went, "I want you to do the shrug." Like the Karanka shrug. So he used to do an interview and go, yeah, like that. So I've took it in subconsciously. I'm thinking, I ain't doing that. But you know, like, you don't score that often. So when I score, fucking my head just goes and I'll just do anything. So I've gone running, hand in the air and see the camera and I'm thinking, just popped in my head. I'm going, like that. And it's just a gif and it went mental, didn't it?
The Karanka shrug.
Yeah.
Did everybody know that it was the Karanka shrug?
Everybody knew. I think Karanka I'm pretty sure he even messaged me or something afterwards. Like
what? What?
I can't remember. I'm sure there was a message or he'd said something to someone else. Yeah, because we'd started all right. Like Karanka had brought in George Friend, Adam Clayton, Neil Etheridge. So he got given a good budget to bring some players in and we'd started all right, but it just...
And he did well at Middlesbrough, didn't he?
Yeah. He was a top manager for the league, but it just did not work.
If Karanka was sat down now and he handed you a piece of paper...
Yeah. No, this is the funny thing. Like, it was probably the best football I played at Birmingham under him. But he was just so bad to other people. Like, his own brother worked with him and he was like a little skivvy, like a lapdog. It was like, you've never seen nothing like it. It was like, David, T.
To his brother?
To his brother. And like...
Like you, that? Not with him.
It was just the way... Because he'd worked under Mourinho, I think he took a lot of Mourinho's traits, but went the wrong way with them. He had this big sports scientist who's now the manager at Newport County, Nelson Jardim. I only knew that because I seen it after. I couldn't believe he'd become a manager because he was like a sports scientist when he was with us at Blues. But he was like a big fella, a little fella, but a bit tubby. But he used to get nervous, right? And he used to lift his top up and rub his belly button. Right? So whenever the manager, he'd call Karanka Mister. So like Mister. And like he'd go, why is this not set up? Or why is it like we used to do this circuit on a Tuesday, just a Spanish circuit. That was his running. Why is this not set up? And you could just see Nelson fucking melting like, fuck, I fucked up again. Honestly, and then I've seen him so I've screenshotted it. I said, I can't believe this kid. I sent it to Juki. I was like, Juke's his manager. He was like, I know, I've seen it. I went, oh, please, like, I want to get a clip of him doing the belly button when he's live on telly.
When the crosses are coming into the box.
Yeah. Unbelievable.
Do you remember the first time you saw Jude Bellingham train?
Yeah. He come up as a kid. And I'll be honest, I didn't make much of it. We'd had a few kids coming up, but we had enough problems. Like, the last thing I had to worry about was like whether this kid was any good. Like, it was just about staying up each year. The one thing I can remember is when he's made his debut at Stoke at home, and I think someone went off injured early doors, and we've looked over and I've seen like they're bringing Jude, and I was like, fucking hell, we don't need this right now. Like, we need,
What were they, 15?
yeah, 16 maybe, like, just. We don't need this right now. We need like someone who I know that we can trust. How wrong was I? Like, the kid come on, that was it. Fucking scored, and then just never looked back from there. But every day in training, you had him on your team, you won. The best player every day, but just so humble with it as well. Like, would nutmeg you, take around 6 people, put in the top bin, and then didn't want to smile or celebrate or give it big. Do you know what I mean? Just go and do it again. And that was it. Fucking frightening,
It's probably worse.
Yeah.
Little fucker.
Yeah.
Everyone's trying to snap him.
If you smashed him, he'd smash you. He'd smash you back. I fucking loved it. I loved it. I loved everything that he stood for, but never thought it would go on to be what he's been. Like, you can't, can you? How do you know that you're going to be from? And I think without his mindset and stuff, he probably wouldn't have been that. But yeah, just different player.
I remember when he left, and I thought it was an overreaction with a shirt. They retired the shirt or something, didn't they? And I thought, that's a bit much.
Yeah.
Come on, lads. But
that was that Ren, that dong again. Yeah, it was. He retired the shirt, done a big balloon on the pitch for him, and we was like, fuck, you know. He was like, what are you doing? But we was the same as you, like in the club, like, fucking retiring the shirt, what are they talking about? And I know now, like, it's probably justified, but even is it justified?
I know, it is a bit.
He's gone to Real Madrid and he's done unbelievable, and he's going to be one of the best players ever in the world, but do you really need to retire the shirt at Birmingham? Like, do you think, I don't know, just strange, isn't it?
It's just a great gesture, isn't it?
Yeah.
So what were, who were the manager when you had your video? When you made your video, you know, like a sort of rallying call from families and stuff.
Yeah. So that was Karanka. So again, like you should say, my relationship with him, I was good. He liked me, and like it just worked. So I was like, Gaffer, like I think we had Sheffield Wednesday away, and it was like us or them that were going to get relegated. And I was like, Gaffer, I'm going to put this thing together. Can we have like a 10-minute meeting, 10 minutes more before you do your meeting? And he's like, yeah, cool. So anyway, spent a week getting all the videos together, and
so you got videos from family members, friends.
Yeah. So I got all the playing staff. I'll just message someone from their family. Can you do me a video? So like, for instance, George Friend, I think his dad messaged me, not his mum, and his dad's like this unbelievable guy, but like, you can imagine him in an audiobook sitting there in a Chesterfield, like reading you a book, and you're thinking,
like a farmer in it, like an aristocrat.
Yeah, like it was like David Attenborough. Like, we went on about Uhtred and the Goliath, and fucking say it was like mental. And like, it was a minute and a half long, and all the lads are thinking, George must have been gutted, to be fair.
Proper posh. We've seen the video. Proper posh.
Come on, boys.
All the lads are thinking, what the fuck is going on here? But like, I loved it. It was hilarious. But when I'd clipped them, I put that one, and then immediately afterwards was Gary Gardner. So instead of like his missus or whatever, Gary Gardner, not Craig, his older brother, he's got another older brother who put a video in. So the video starts and he's like crouching down, he's got a blues top on, and he's like, come on lads, smash these cunts tomorrow, because my missus said I can smash her. And he stands up and he's got her knickers on with his bollocks hanging out the side. He's got a ball and he volleys it, and he goes, what does he say? Come on the Duke, keep right on, and then just fucks off. So you've gone from the most serious video ever to Gary Gardner's brother with his bollocks out and his missus pink thong. Bollocks out going, fucking wallop, let's have it. Oh, it was fucking unbelievable. And everyone's pissing himself laughing. And we fucking had nothing to do with that, but we went and won the game 1-0, the worst game of football you've ever seen. But, yeah, class.
I still can't stop thinking about Karanka getting home after being sacked and opening his boots and there just being a joint in, full of her and stuff.
So from his point of view, he thinks you've shat on him then, doesn't he?
Yeah. And
have you spoken to him since about it?
I've never spoke to him since, no. But do you know what? I did, like, I got asked the question and I had to answer it as a captain. I've cost him his job, but what I said and what was relayed from the lads did cost him his job. But if we had a captain that year, we'd have got relegated. That was...
Had he lost yours? Or was it just not good enough?
He'd lost us, And I think he wanted to get sacked as well. He got to the point where he wanted to pay up. He wanted to get sacked. Like, George knows him better than I did, and he said like he's acting completely different to anything he's ever seen. So I think he wanted it to happen. And if Bowyer hadn't come in that season, like, we would have got relegated, and then that would have fucked everyone. Do you know what I mean?
It has put you in a shit position, though, hasn't it? It's captain.
It's just, it's part and parcel, isn't it? But you don't ever think you're going to have to speak to the owner in China at 3:00 in the morning because of time difference. But then that broke the relationship between me and Dong because of that. He then knew that I was the one that done it. We had before Bowyer come in, we had the 23s and Dodsey and someone else take over like interim. And after the game we lost, and I fucking just hammered the club, only in the dressing room, and the lads and a few of the lads, and just fucking let them have it, and told a few people with like home truths or whatever. And somehow it got back to Dong in the he's had a drink, he's rung my agent saying Harlee sacked. I'm like, what? My agent rung me saying he's trying to sack you. What have you said to him? I said, I ain't said nothing. I said, in the dressing room, he wasn't even in there. And that was it for after. Obviously, he couldn't sack me, but he'd had a drink and fucking lost his head, and didn't like. I must have said a few things about him when I was saying what I was saying, and he tried to sack me after that. And then Bowyer come in, played me, and we stayed up, and it was sort of forgotten about.
So you went,
Would he say it to you? Would he say it to your face? Don't. Yeah, of a ding.
He I remember him coming in training afterwards, the next week, coming out in training in his tracksuit and his boots on. And
I like him.
He's like the Chinese David Brent.
Yeah, that was it. And the Pep Clotet was the manager at the time. This is a completely different situation, actually. And Pep, sorry, I've got confused. Pep weren't manager. Whoever was the interim was a manager, and he was like, "Why is he training with you? I've sacked him." And they was like, "Well, you haven't sacked him. He's in. He's got to train with us." And he was like, "Oh, I want you to find him." And this geezer's like the interim manager going, "Find him for what?" And he was like, "What he said." And he was like, well, "It's nothing to do with me. I can't find." But he's having the conversation. I'm like there, and I'm like, "Well, you can say it to me, can't you, if you want?" And I'm like just running up and down, like, and as I'm running past, I'm going, "Well, say it to me then." Like, and it was just one of them. And yeah, because my head was gone. I was thinking, he's tried to sack me. Fucking someone snaked me. And I'm like, fucking, you're in your boots, run with me. Yeah, you're in your boots, follow me. Like, yeah, fucking, oh.
Sounds like my favourite man in football. Man.
Yeah.
Dong is the fucking man, by the way.
Yeah, it was just mental the whole time at Birmingham, like that period anyway. Yeah,
and are they getting pelters from the fans?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
ridiculous.
Yeah. Like, I'll come off social media because of it and stuff. Just, I did tell the whole of the Tilton to fuck off after I scored, which was a mistake, but
It's getting to you.
it weren't even getting to me. I could handle it, but that week someone had said that on Twitter and added my mum in it and called my mum something, and I was just like, oh, fuck this, I'm off of here. Like, called her saying, I don't even want to say, and then so I deactivated Twitter. Then I scored against West Brom at home in like the derby in front of the Tilton, and they're all celebrating, and I've just like gone, you can all fuck off, you bunch of cunts or wankers or something like that. Well, I don't know why I did it. It was live on Sky. Like, everyone can lip read what I'm saying. But that was just me. Like, when I scored, my head just went, and then from then they hated me.
Maybe should have gone with a shrug.
Yeah, and that was before the shrug, and it took a while to build it back up.
Yeah.
And then by the end of the time that I left, like they liked me again. It's just swings and roundabouts of football, ain't it? But yeah, it was a horrible place to play.
Did Bowyer change things drastically?
Yeah. We come in and it was at Bowyer come in and we just were hard to beat. I can't remember what the results were, but we stayed up comfortably in the end. In that year I got player of the season, players player of the season, and probably had my best season. So it was Karanka and Bowyer combined.
I was just going to read a message out. We got I don't know if I got it on our Instagram, and it was a question for you from a Birmingham fan. And it was, who were some of the best players, good people at Birmingham that have been underappreciated? And he said, like yourself, due to the complete mess the club was in throughout his time. Also, does it hurt him not to be involved now that we have turned a corner and he's stuck through all the shit? If you do read this message, let him know that he was majorly loved by majority of Blue fans, and the fickle fans that gave him shit just couldn't handle someone who wore his heart on his sleeve and said it like it is. What a man. So it's...
Yeah. Do you know what? And
Can I pass us a tissue?
I know, but I get a lot, like, because I'm still in the area and stuff like that, I see a lot of Blues fans, and it's all generally, that way. Like, they all say the same thing. It's just a minority, ain't it? And you got to deal with that. But
There's loudest voices, aren't there?
that's it. I fucking wish I was involved now. I'll tell you that for a fact. Just like my boys in the academy there, and I think it's just going to be 5 years. It could be anything it wants to be if they go the way they
It's
go.
a massive club, isn't it? Like,
Yeah,
massive club.
massive club, and these new owners ain't going to muck about either. So yeah, I think it's exciting times for them. But yeah, I'd love to be still involved there, or go back in some capacity when everything's said and done.
How did you like Sheffield Wednesday?
I needed it. Never realised how much I needed it. So Bowyer come in, we finished the season, stayed up. Next season, he was telling me like we're going to go for this and love me, like we're from the same neck of the woods, like was getting on like house on fire. Out of nowhere, we beat Luton away 5-1, and Troy signs. I get a call from Bowyer. Don't worry, you're still going to be my captain, even though Troy's come in. I'm thinking, you didn't need to ring me to tell me that. Like, I fucking know I'm the captain. So I was thinking, that's a bit strange. And then I'll tell the full true story. That was an international break. We just beat Luton 5-1. Me and the missus went to London for the weekend. Long story short, me and the missus walking back, I've been hit by someone and they've broke my jaw, like clean break through here. So I didn't want to stop playing, and it was the worst thing. That ruined my time with Bowyer, because I didn't eat for 6 weeks. I was playing games, seeing free balls. I got addicted to the cocodamols because of the pain I was in. I lost fucking God, and I was like skin and bones because I couldn't chew anything. The chef was like blending me things up, but no one knew, and everyone just thought I turned shit. The lads knew, like Juki and all them lot knew, and stuff like that. But yeah, so I got left out, and then we played Coventry away, and he brought me back in. But he went down this like man marking system. He wanted to play like Leeds, so we was just 1v1. So I was man marking Victor Krikores, you know, the one who's just scored an hat-trick last night against City. We've kept a clean sheet. We drew 0-0. Fucking his geezers run me everywhere. He was a fucking monster, rapid, could go left foot, right foot, whatever. So I've done all right, thinking, God, I'm back in here. We've gone to a back three. I've played left of the back three. Pulls me in the next day we was in and said, I want you to leave, like you're up for transfer in January. I was like, fuck, I've still got another 2 years on my contracts. Like, you just played me. Like, what's that about? He's like, no, you're just not for me. Like, your attitude's not right, and this, that, and the other. And I just didn't believe what he was saying. Like, I'd got on so well with him. It couldn't have gone so chalk and cheese. It was obviously a political or financial or whatever the club, which is fine. Like, I'd rather them just said that to me. Anyway, long story short, I signed for Sheffield Wednesday in January, and I just fell back in love with football again. Didn't realise that I needed it so much, like how much Birmingham had just sucked it out of me. Like, there was no enjoy. That weren't being part of a football club at Birmingham. It was just
grind.
Yeah, grind, surviving. Whereas Wednesday, I dropped down to League One, but we was going for promotion. Enjoyment was back. Like, the dressing room was just bouncing. Like, the manager was just
almost a reminder of what it used to be like.
Exactly that. It just felt like Brentford again.
Yeah.
It just felt like Brentford. It felt like good times were coming. It was enjoyable. We was playing good football. We was dominating games. And they're a fucking massive club, by the way, aren't they? When that place is rocking, like, it's a proper place to play. And the manager as well was just brilliant for me.
Darren Moore.
Big Darren Moore, like, he was just class. Like, just wanted you to play football. I fucking pulled my calf straight away as soon as I went there. I think the second game and missed the majority of the season, but then he brought me back for the playoffs. So that was frustrating, but just even though I was injured, I still loved it more than I had in the past 4 or 5 years. And then obviously we got to the semi-finals against Sunderland. And
did you fancy your chances?
Yeah. We had Barry Bannon, do you know what I mean? Fucking sun player him. We called him Big Wooly. He takes his jumper off, mate. He's got a jumper on. Like, it's like cashmere. Like, he's like a wolf. So we called him Wooly, and no one gives Baz a stick. He runs that club, do you know what I mean? Like, you don't want it, because he can give it back as well. He'll take it, but he give it back. But what a player. I mean, he's so good for that league. Like, at that time, I just couldn't believe it. yeah, we fancied our chances, and then that Sunderland away, the first leg, that night game, we was like rabbits in headlights because we did not know it was coming like that. The manager said he made a mistake in terms of the formation or whatever it was, but we was like, I think, did it finish 1-0 that first game?
I think it did.
Yeah, I think we got away with it to finish 1-0 because I'm good mates with Pritch, who played, I think he scored or he hit the bar or whatever, and we got drug tested afterwards, and we were sitting in there and he was like, you've got away with one there, haven't you? And I was like, yeah. I was like, I think you lot are in trouble. We come back to Hillsborough because the stadium was like, we knew once we got one, we could go and you guys were obviously there.
Yeah.
Like we got that first goal and the stadium just changed, and then the energy changes, and you just think we're going to go and do this. But
It was rocking on it when
Gregory
scored.
yeah, I played at Wembley and whatever, but nothing compared to them two games. And that, I think Villa Blues was probably the closest thing, like both home and away, to them two games, but I still think they were better.
Someone asked what really happened between, this might be typos.
That's why I didn't say it.
Diadu, the spitting incident at Bristol
Oh
City.
yes, you're talking about David Davis.
Fucking hell, that definitely doesn't
No,
sound
no, it is Didu. Didu was the striker. Didu was the striker, and he spat in Digger's face when we was playing Bristol City. So we fucking chased him around the pitch for 25 minutes, like just trying to kick fuck out of him. And then Lee Johnson's come on going, what are you fucking talking about? Blah, 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 giving it all massive that he didn't even do it. I was thinking, it was nothing to do with me. I was just next to it. I've seen him spit in his face. Digger's like one of my best mates. So we just chased him around, like we both got booked trying to do him. And then he eventually got like a 6-game ban afterwards.
Did he? So they got it on camera?
Yeah, they must have got it from somewhere because like he did it. And next time we played him, Lee Johnson's come up to me and gone, you fucking lie, or you making stuff up. I didn't make nothing up. Like, he's got little man syndrome and he just wanted to fucking give it. And yeah, he spat at Digger's face, yeah.
I know you're currently at Reading, but did you know of the troubles that they were in before you'd signed, and did you know how bad it was?
No, I didn't know it was as bad as this. Into the frying pan, into the fire, innit?
Something like that.
Yes, fucking. I knew when we did it, we knew that there was problems, but we'd been told that they were about to be resolved, and fuck me, they definitely weren't about to be resolved. This, like, I've been at Blues for years. Reading is in far worse a situation than Blues is, like off the pitch. We always got paid at Blues. There's been times we haven't been paid at Reading, albeit late, or the money's come from fucking, you've had £1 in at 12 o'clock and then the rest come whatever other day, whatever other time. Amount of people being made redundant. Staff, like there's fucking no staff. The building, the Reading's training ground is incredible as well. Like, you've never seen nothing like it. It's the best I've ever seen. And they've got nothing. They've got no. Last year we had no chefs, so we was pre-match was, or after training was like the prep food. You know, like the little cartridge things that you chuck in a microwave. No travel, like no overnight travel, stuff like that. It got terrible, and it looked like they was going to come out the other side of it with this fella who owned Wickham, Rob something. I can't remember his last name, and then he pulled out about 2 days before it was all meant to be complete, and now they're back to square one again. And excuse me, if it wasn't for the manager that they've got at the minute, like, he's done an unbelievable job, like incredible, because he's just used kids from the academy. It don't matter how old you are. Like, his style of play is very like.
Not from a playing background, is it?
No, I think he was.
Cantonese owner, Cantonese restaurant owner.
I think he was like a sports scientist originally under at Southampton or something like that. Done all of his coaching badges and whatever. He's been everywhere. But his style of play is just counter press, and it's like it's just running, as high speed running is like ridiculous that you've ever seen. So having young lads that will just run is perfect for him, and it really works. Like, you got some good players amongst that. You got like Lewis Wing. I don't know if anyone's ever played against him, but unbelievable technically. Like, was a player, and they've got some good young lads that can score goals. So they're doing all right this year, and then I think they even done like unbelievable to stay up last year after everything that the club went through.
What about you? Can you see yourself being a manager?
I want to. That's what I want to do.
I was definite that then.
Yeah, I want to. So I've done the A licence. I'm on the A licence this year. I do still enjoy playing. Like, it's completely different. Like, the dressing rooms, I don't really enjoy that much anymore and stuff like that, because it's not how it was when I first started. But I look at football in a different way now. Like, I enjoy the training a lot more because I'm looking at what the session is we're doing and what the reason is we're doing for it.
Forward,
yeah, bits like that. And you're a long time retired as well, by the way, aren't you? Like, a lot of people I speak to think, say, like, don't go too soon because you're a long time retired.
So you're going to just hold on as long as you can then?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I'm not really bothered about what level it gets to. There'll come a point when my body will say, like, no more. But right now I feel good. And yeah, I will just play as long as possible.
Which manager have you taken the most from, being a student of the game and everything?
Yeah. Student of the game. You're a student of the game. Who have I taken the most from? Again, Eustace and Gary Monk, I think. Do you know what? Eustace and Gary Monk in terms of everything off the pitch. So, like, they were both massive in saying hello to, like, the receptionist. So you could go in through the players' entrance, or you could go in through the reception to training, say hello to her, then say hello to all the staff as you walked in. It'd become a fine if you didn't do that. So I enjoyed that. Like, I thought that's one of the ideas that I would take with me. And they both, without knowing, they both brought that in when they both come in different times, because it took a break in between. It was about treating the people at the bottom the same you treat the people at the top and stuff like that. And I thought that was great. But then probably footballing wise, Ruben Sellers now. I'd never seen, like, I'd played football for fucking, I don't know how long I've played now, 15, 17 years. I'd never seen the style of play that he plays until I went there last year and done it. And I was fucking, at first I was like, it's not for me. Like
and it's mind blowing because he's never played.
Yeah.
He's gone to uni and done sports science or whatever.
I think he
can be done, can't it?
Come underneath Hassan Hootel.
Yeah.
And Jesse March, you know, that like Red Bull, just the training and the way he gets the repetitive sprints out of the players, and it's defensive, but it's about, it then flips to the attacking side of it. So when you're doing it in the final third and then you're getting turnovers and then you're fucking finding a pass straight away and you're getting a shot at goal, all right, it might not be the pretty build-up that Man City do or whatever, but you're getting a lot of shots at goal and you're getting a lot of opportunities and stuff.
No,
it is
thanks,
interesting.
mate. We appreciate you
top
coming
man,
on.
mate. Thanks for coming on.
No, I enjoyed it. Thanks a lot. I've been a big fan for a little while.
Somebody mentioned, actually, about Mark Warburton announcing your departure from Brentford.
Did he? Yeah.
But it doesn't add up with the timeline.
Nah, because he weren't.
Yeah, it was Smith, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Dean Smith. I left under
That's
Dean
why I
Smith.
didn't know if he was still involved.
No, Wolves left, went to Rangers, then went Forest. I don't know where else he went after that.
So it doesn't make sense.
We
Is he all right though, Warburton?
yeah, he's all right, but we had an unbelievable. So Sheffield away, we stayed in that hotel. I can't remember what it's called, but it's like the tall one. And you go in the lobbies on the ground floor, then you have to go up to the food. Anyway, long story short, we as we're checking in, me and Adam Forshaw have got the key for the head physio's wobblehead, Greggy. Yeah, right.
Oh yeah, wobblehead.
Right, yeah. So we've got the key for his room. So I've took it. I've had one copied because we've heard. So that was it. I've heard his number being. So I've copied his key. So me, Adam, Clayton Donaldson, Tamani Diagraga, Jonathan Douglas, Sam Saunders, someone else. As he's because of an evening he'd go and treat players, you know, like after dinner. So we've gone in his room and we've smashed it to fuck. Like, he had his stuff on the bed, like his laptop and his suitcase. So we've put that in the wardrobe nicely. Like, didn't do that, but then flipped the beds upside down. I'm pretty sure George had a shit in the sink. Like, we've just got tissue and just done what you would always do to each other. Anyway, didn't think nothing of it. 7 o'clock in the morning, all of our doors are knocked. So Wolves has called us in and we're all sitting there and he was like, lads, just to let you know, the police are on their way. Greggy's not happy with what you've done to his room. You've got to own up to it. And we're thinking, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, we know it was us, but no one knows it was us. And he's like, we've seen it through, we've actually got something here, you know, like the little white fire alarms are on the top. He said, in this hotel, they've got cameras in it. So we're like, fuck off. And he was like, so if you own up now, like, there won't be a fine, but we just need to know because Greggy's like really upset about it. Like, he's been upset this morning. Anyway, I can't remember what happened, but he kept going on and on and on. I was thinking, fuck me, we're going to have to own up to this here. So I'm sitting next to Dougie. So he was like, look, if he was involved, just stand up and we can sort it out. And I thought, oh, fuck me, I'll be the first one to just own up. And Dougie just put his hand on my leg like this and gone, fucking sit the fuck down. So Dougie was the one we all looked up to. So if Dougie weren't standing up, none of us were. So Ads has looked at me and I'm like that. So we've just left it, whatever. So we didn't say anything. Come to the game, Greggy's not there. So we're like, where's the physio? And the assistant physio, Darryl, went, oh, he's emotionally distraught. He's been crying all morning. He's had to have a morning to himself walking around Sheffield. We're all like, how does he not know it was us? Like, we didn't nick anything. We put his stuff away nicely. Like, it's only a bit of banter. Like, we obviously didn't say this, but we're thinking, fuck, we've done it. He had a week off. He had a week off work because of that. And Wolves is coming to us going, lads, you just told me it was you. And we're going, weren't us. Don't know what you're talking about. We eventually fucking told him down the line. Do you know what I mean? Actually, I don't think we ever did. This might be the first time we've ever found out.
So has he thought it's an outside party who's got in his room?
So when the police come, because the police
did come. I thought this was going to be a wind-up, like, an inside
he
job.
has told them that Sheffield United fans have targeted him. And we're thinking, why the fuck would they target you if they was going to target anyone? Oh, it's unbelievable. Like, we couldn't believe, like, we'd done so much shit throughout the whole years that have just, like, got away with. And this was the one thing that the club got sort of, I'm pretty sure it made the press as well, like, Sheffield United fans target Brentford squad. And it was just us lot fucking about with physio.
That's the best one I've ever heard. The best room trashing I've ever heard.
But it was the fact they tried to call our bluff in the thing by saying there was camera in the fire alarms, because we was like...
And when he's come back after the week, you was had to tread carefully around him, like, or did you just...
We didn't take the piss. Like, he weren't one you could take the piss out of anyway, because he just wouldn't, like, I don't know, just nice enough bloke, but just couldn't come back. So it was almost like, oh, you don't want to fucking affect him again. But I think he played Wolves and thought, fuck me, I can get a free week off out of this. Do you know what I mean? I don't think he did that, but I mean, yeah, it was.
So he's generally felt emotionally violated.
Yeah. Had the week off, had the game off, walking around. I mean, like, fucking walking around Sheffield's not going to do good either, is it? I lived there for a while, and then fucking had a week off after that.
That is superb.
Can I apologise to him?
No, he won't listen to this anyway.
Thing is, whoever that somebody else is thinking, oh, thank fuck for that, he's forgot that I was involved. Somebody's got away with it now.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Oh, man.